for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Whoa. Yeah. What's up? It's the boy Coach Malachi Williams in the building. We back. New Media Today USA Boxing. And we back again, y'all. Yes, y'all. Yes, it is. We are back and we are here. You know what I mean? Guys, give me 1 second. I got to drop the link for my co-host, the big homie, Shelton Moore. Let me turn these other lights on because I don't think it's bright enough in here. Give me 1 second, guys. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but let's see if you can hear the music. You know what I mean? Let me see if y'all can hear the music. Why does my headphones sound so low? I don't know why my headphones sound so low. Let me see. Let me find out why my headphones sound so damn low. Everything sounds low. Know what I mean? If you guys can hear the music, let me know. Let me know if you can hear the music. If not, just all tell me. Let me know. All right, you guys can't hear it. That's cool. So, hey, Leroy!
Super chat received.
Playtime's over. Let me drop the link for Shelton. Let me drop the link for my brother Shelton. I thought I fixed this, but I guess I didn't. Don't worry about it. It's something very simple. Shelton, I just dropped the link for you, fam. Why is this so damn low? I thought I had everything up, though. Let me see what's up with this. We might have to go without the audio today. Let's see. Speaker. Let's try it now. Yeah, still low. I don't know why it's low. I'll figure it out, though. I will figure it out. I'm not going to worry about this thing right now. It was working fine yesterday. I might have to just reboot the computer, but I'm not going to do it right now, guys. Hey, salute to my brother Shelton Moore in the building, man. Salute to Shelton Moore. Let me go ahead and set this camera up. I have a webcam right here, guys, a web right there. I have another camera that I'm going to use. Thanks for the super chats, guys. This camera here is like top of the line. This is what I'm going to be streaming with probably the next day or so. You know what I mean? So, Shelton, can you hear me, fam?
Salute, brother. How you doing today? Salute to the chat, all my peoples. What's happening? How y'all doing?
Yeah, man. Let me go ahead and that's the mic. Okay, good. I got you. I hear you good now. I hear you in my ear. You know what I mean?
All right, brother. Yeah, man. How's everything going, Coach?
Yeah, everything going pretty good. Everything going well. I don't think we should be having any internet issues today. You know what I mean? I reached out.
Well, that's a good thing.
I reached out to the leader of the Alphabet Boy community, and he told me that they would leave me alone if I was to come on the show and apologize today. So I want to apologize to the Alphabet Boys community for you guys thinking that I was going to come on here and apologize. It's not happening. It's not. I'm gonna tell you like Joe Biden told the black leaders last year when he had Al Sharpton and all of them on a Skype call or whatever Zoom call. He said it's not going to happen. If you think that I am going to apologize for anything that I've said as it relates to the counter narrative that you guys spitting, it's not going to happen. I apologize if you thought that I was going to come on here and apologize. But other than that, man, that's just a joke of the day, guys. A joke of the day. You know what I mean? Just a joke of the day. Hey,
Coach, check this out, man. I was just listening. You know, I don't go on their streams or I don't beam in. I was just listening last night to some of the blind. It's scary. The blind they follow this guy, just the blind faith, just the blind obedience. They just make up anything to support this guy.
Yeah.
You know, they were talking about the Mel situation, the Mel Charlo situation. And, you know, everything was, he shouldn't have did this, he should have did that, he should have did that. I said, so I just typed in and said, okay, so it's okay for Wilder to say he's going to slap the man, or it's okay for Wilder to say outlandish things, but he can't? Oh, apparently so. Wilder's the leader. Somebody actually told me Wilder's the leader and everybody else needs to fall in line. I said, wow. I said, wow.
Hey, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Shout out to Lil Bullet for the Bullet for the super chat, man. Shout out to you, brother. My main man, Lil Bullet for the super chat. You know what I mean? That's right. Everybody needs to fall in line. You know what I mean? And if you are a man and you do not know how to twerk, you need to learn how to twerk, because the twerkinator is giving out lessons in Alabama. Hey, let me give everybody a shout out, man. Let me give everybody a shout out. Hey, let me drop the link for Lady Shan to come on in too, man. Hello. Shout out to Ignorant Boxing. Shout out. Hold on, let me get the mic. Shout out to Ignorant Boxing. Bro, I really like my stuff don't sound like I want it to sound for some reason today. I get to it though. Shout out to Ignorant Boxing, man. Shout out to Dash Pez. Shout out to Meryl Dixon. Shout out to Halim. Shout out to my brother Charlo. Shout out to who else we got? OG, double OG, quadruple OG in the building. Shout out to Opender. Shout out to you, fam. Shout out to the Queen, Karma Serene. Let's hit the Ali Bell for Karma Serene. And shout out to Lisa Bales. Let's hit the Ali Bell for Lisa Bales. You know what I mean? Shout out to Ziggy. Shout out to Corn Kid. Shout out to Alan Skill. Shout out
Exclusive.
to
Hold on, Coach. Exclusive. You graduated high school today? Salute, brother. Great, man. Happy graduation, brother. Salute to you.
What you mean I graduated high school? What you talking about?
Exclusive Insider graduates high school today.
Oh, Exclusive Insider. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I didn't see it. I didn't see that yet. Yeah, Exclusive Insider, man. Salute to you, fam, from graduating high school. And guess what? We're gonna hit the Ali Bell for you as well. Ali Bell for exclusive. Yeah, what on? I think I see it up here. Exclusive. Yeah, I haven't got to it yet. Shelton. Shout out to Alan Skill. Shout out to Meryl Dixon. Shout out to Corn Kid. Ziggy says he's new here. Shout out to Ziggy. Let's see. Shout out to Exclusive News Insider. Yes, what's good? Shout out to Exclusive News Insider, man. I hear that you graduated today. That's great. That's great. You know what I mean? Shout out to Silver Stream. Shout out to my brother Smith and West from D-Town, from Detroit. That's what I'm talking about, my brother Smith and West, man. I'm gonna drop the link, man, for you guys. Because I really want to cover this topic. Because I just want to see, is Tyson Fury capping? But I saw the video, I saw the interview, man. He had a very serious look on his face. So anyways, shout out to New Money DMG in the building. Shout out to my sister Lisa Bales, the Queen. Shout out to Lisa Bales. Shout out to Waza. What's going on, fam? You know what I mean? So okay, cool. Okay, let's see. Shout out to Dalton Voss. What's going on? Shout out to let's see who we have. Corn Kid. Shout out to I want to make sure I don't say the same name. Bruce Goals. What's going on, fam? Shout out to Leo Sam. Shout out to Ivan. What's going on, Ivan? And let's see, Johnny Blaze. What's going on, Johnny Blaze? And let's see, my sister Lisa Bell. Salute to you, Queen. Shout out to Bruce Dog. Bruce Dog in the building. You see what I'm saying? And let's see who else we have. I said Elvis already. OG, triple OG, quadruple OG. You know what I mean? And I think that's it. I think that's everybody for now. Shout out to Steve in the UK. Shout out to the Queen, Lady Shan. You know what I mean? Lady Shan in the building. Y'all please subscribe to Lady Shan channel. Oh, also go to Lady Shan channel, YouTube channel, and please subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And look her up on YouTube. Look her up on the Lady Shan, right? And also shout out to Major Key Boxing. Major Key Mondays is tonight. They're gonna have the legendary Hall of Famer Buddy McGirt on there, and he's a legendary trainer as well. He will be on the show, and I will be on that panel.
Two-time junior welterweight champion of the world too. Don't forget.
Yeah, 2-time junior welterweight champion of the world, and didn't he beat Roger Mayweather too, right? I think he beat Roger. I think he beat Roger Mayweather. Yeah, he beat the Black Mamba. He beat the Black Mamba, right? Let's see. Shout out to Eddie Val. Shout out to Corn Kid. Shout out to my brother Ignorant Boxing. I got a super chat I need to get out the way as well. Okay. Shout out to Joe Strummer. Shout out to Red, White, and Dew. Shout out to Triple X. And let's see. Shout out to Mercy Grace for the super chat. Appreciate that. The Twerkinator doesn't need to eat no cherry pies from no gypsies this time. We all seen the movie Thinner. Hey man, listen, I'm anxious to see what he gonna what his weight is gonna be when he come in. Let me go ahead and do this though. Let me drop the link. Shelton, I was looking at an interview. I have the interview in the description below, guys. So go to the description. You will actually be able to see the interview. Shout out to Leo Sam. Shout out to Alan Skill. Shout out to Tommy Hill. Shout out to Deontay Wilder's head excuse maker. Shout out to Proud Father as well. You know what I mean? And shout out to BG. BG, what's going on? You know what I mean? So, Lady Shannon, if you want to jump in, you can, sis. If you can. You, Karma Sareem, or Lisa Bells, if you guys want to jump in. Yeah, but listen, check it out though, right? So, in this particular interview with Tyson Fury says that I just want to get straight to the point because I don't want to misquote anything that Tyson Fury said. So Fury just pretty much had an interview with the ESPN reporter, the same guy who interviewed Deontay Wilder. I think his name was Bernardo Osuna.
Bernardo Osuna.
Bernardo Osuna. Oh, so the O is silent. Okay, Bernardo Osuna, right? So Fury, in my opinion, Fury has some very interesting things in his interview. You know what I mean? He was asked a couple of questions, and basically one of his replies were basically he said that with Malik Scott training Wilder, Tyson Fury just pretty much said that Malik Scott was a loser and an excuse maker because he made excuses in their sparring match when he had him in his gym sparring with him when he burst. I think he popped Malik Scott's eardrum. I wonder if he had egg weights in his gloves when he popped Malik Scott's eardrum. I don't know. Malik Scott didn't say anything about egg weights, but I guess from Pillow Fist Tyson Fury, he was able to do that. And also, guys, Tyson Fury said that you have one loser training another loser, so he don't really see much that Malik Scott can do. Now, I know pretty much maybe some of this Tyson Fury is probably just he's just saying this. I don't know how much you want to put into that. You know what I mean? But he pretty much saying how he feels about Malik Scott. He didn't really disrespect him, but he just saying, hey, listen. And this is what I was saying too, Shelton. Okay, you got a trainer, right? In Malik Scott. Now, it doesn't mean that Malik Scott is not going to be a phenomenal trainer. I always said that, right? I say we won't know what he would have until Wilder fight on July 24th. That's when we're going to know how great of a trainer Malik Scott is, right? Or how much information that the Twerkinator has retained from Malik Scott. Now, I know we have videos going out there that was sent to me in my Instagram from the Twerk Nation supporters, basically showing that, hey, you see Deontay Wilder doing the jump rope. Wow, he's doing the jump rope. Shout out to Sporting Icons, man. Please go to Sporting Icons YouTube channel. That he's one of the big dogs in this industry when it comes to content creation. And I watch his videos every day. Like literally, I watch his videos every day. He does a great job. I learn a lot from watching his channel. I learned a lot from watching Showbiz the Adult, Kurt, Counterpunch Boxing. I learned a lot from Lady Shan's channel. I learned a lot from Major Key Boxing with Troy Graham. There's a couple of other ones I learned a lot from too that I watch. So, I have like 10 channels that I really watch consistently that's consistent with putting out really, really good content. So please subscribe to all of those channels. Oh, and shout out to Blood Boxing as well, man. Retro documentaries as well. But yeah, so they showing all kind of, the videos where he jump roping and they getting the Holy Ghost and dancing and doing the electric slide. I'm like, dude, he's just literally he's jump roping. This is what every fighter does. they jump rope, right, Shelton? So, Fury, I like Tyson Fury's mindset. He's very calm. He's like, listen, man, I'm working on something. And he's looking to stop Wilder. And of course, Wilder is working to stop Tyson Fury. So that's going to be very interesting. So we shouldn't see anybody going backwards. You know what I mean? I guess whoever gets hits the hardest is going to have to really make the adjustments. And so what do you think about that? Do you think that Malik Scott is a loser? I won't say he's a loser, but I'm speaking, you know, and from Tyson Fury's standpoint, would you look at it? Do you look at it as though, hey, listen, you have one loser, an excuse maker who made excuses in my gym from what Tyson Fury is saying, and if that's what happened, then I understand his point of view. Training another guy who is a loser because I beat him, right? And he made 1,000 excuses. So these two losers, according to Tyson Fury, basically what he's saying, are coming together to put together a game plan to beat me when I'm the guy who beat both of their asses. So what do you think about that, Sheldon? Do you think that from Tyson Fury's standpoint, not from your standpoint, but if you was Tyson Fury, do you think that he has a valid point in his assessment about Wilder and Malik Scott coming together?
Well, let me start with this. Let's not say that Wilder is a loser because he clearly is not. Right. Wilder has lost one fight. So let's get that out of the way. Malik Scott, we all know, was a C+, B- level fighter. He had some wins.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
He only had 3 losses. Yeah, I got you.
Can you hear me? All right, just go ahead.
I got you. He only had 3 losses. He had some wins, but he was clearly a C+, B level fighter. Now, we all know that have been watching this sport for years that usually the best trainers were not that good in the ring. They were not that elite level fighter. So we really don't know what Malik Scott's going to bring to the table, number one. Number two, will Wilder receive the instruction given and follow the game plan? That's another question, because what Fury was saying at the press conference was once Wilder gets hit, he's going to revert back to what he knows best. That's usually the case, but it remains to be seen. Let's not kid ourselves and automatically assume that Tyson Fury is just going to run through this guy. We have to take into account the fact that this guy was embarrassed and humiliated in the last fight. I know from personal experience, wanting to redeem yourself is a powerful motivator. That may be the motivational tool he needs to actually listen to Malik Scott, maybe implement some of the things Malik Scott is trying to teach him, and actually implement it in the fight. Now, Malik Scott said something that was telling to me at the press conference. He said Deontay Wilder is stubborn. So he wouldn't listen to Mark Breland. He has a relationship with Malik Scott, so maybe that will help him, maybe not. I just think that I don't believe in what I've seen as far as participating in the sport of boxing, watching the sport of boxing since 1969. I don't believe that a guy who needs yes men around him constantly and always needs to be ego stroked and motivated has the incentive to do anything different, because he believes that he's the best heavyweight in the world. So if what I've been doing has gotten me to this point, what is my incentive to change? But Fury said it best. Fury said, I'll repeat myself one more time. Fury said, once he starts to get hit, he's going to revert back to what he knows best. That remains to be seen. Now, let's not think that Wilder doesn't have a shot to win this fight, because he does. My question is, will he do the things necessary to pull off the victory? And that I don't know. Coach, you on mute. You on mute, Coach.
Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. Shout out to the Lady Shan. Hit the Ali bell for Lady Shan. Please subscribe to her YouTube channel. Lady Shan, do you want to interject on what Shelton just?
Yeah. Bless up, Shelton, King Shelton. Where I have to disagree is that
Lady Shan, my queen, what's happening, baby?
I'm all good. I have to disagree that Wilder is a loser, because he's a loser in life because of the excuses. That's what makes him a loser. We're not talking about, what he's achieved, but the things that he's achieved have been nullified by his loser mentality. That's why he's a loser.
So you're saying from a mentality standpoint, from what Shelton's saying, he's not a loser because he's only had one loss. So in the sport of boxing, he's not a loser. But what you're saying, Lady Shan, is you're not talking about the physical attributes he has. He has great physical attributes. He has one, his record speaks for itself. But you're saying from a mentality standpoint, right? His mentality right now,
Tyson Fury's undefeated, but he's a loser as well.
Right. So Lady Shan, she not crazy about Fury or Wilder, so she don't have a dog in the fight. I don't have a dog in the fight in a dog in the race in this battle that they're going to have as well. But what I was saying was from a Tyson Fury standpoint. Now I get from what you're saying, Sheldon. From your standpoint, you're 100% correct, and that's the way you see it. There's nothing wrong with that, Lady Shan. From what you're saying, you're 100% correct from your subjective standpoint and from Shelton's subjective standpoint. I was trying to look at it from Tyson Fury's standpoint. From what Fury, I guess from what Fury is saying is this here. He said a lot in that interview. He said that he lost respect for Wilder because of the excuses. And he said that he said something of the sort the way he's mentally weak and stuff like that. And I would agree with the mental weakness part of it, aspect of it, because it's not like he said one thing, he said a million things. I'm not going to relitigate what Wilder said. We know what he said and what he's consistently saying right now to this day. So, again, Shelton is right. We're not going to think that Tyson Fury is just going to go in there and roll over him. And I fully expect Deontay Wilder to be 10 times as better in this fight, in this third fight, than he was in the first and second fight. The only problem with that is Tyson Fury is going to be 10 times as better than the first fight, in the second fight, in this third fight as well. Right. So it's not like Shan, it's not like, okay, well, Wilder's going to be he's going to be way better than the next fight. What Tyson Fury is going to do? Well, what the hell you think Fury? What you think Fury is going to come in the same? He's going to come in better as well.
This is what I'm saying. When he fought Tyson Fury back in 2018, the first fight, that was the worst version of Tyson Fury that you could get, and he still couldn't beat him then. Then we progressed to February 2020, a better version of Fury. He obviously didn't beat him then. So if you couldn't beat the worst version of Fury, what makes him think he's going to beat the better version of Fury at all?
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you think that, okay, we all believe and know that, okay, Wilder's going to come in, he's going to be a Super Saiyan. I'm not, of course I'm being facetious, but he's going to be a lot better than what he was in the last fight. Okay, we can give him that. We can agree with that. Do you believe that Tyson Fury is going to be better in the next fight? Sheldon.
Of course. Fury's going to train. Fury has the blueprint in his mind to beat Wilder. So he's going to focus on the things that he feels he needs to do to beat Wilder. He's going to look at the two fights, see what worked, see what didn't work, and he's going to focus on the things that work. Fury, even though I'm with you guys, I don't have a dog in this race because I don't like either fighter personally, but I respect both of their skill sets. I respect the fact that Wilder has that one punch knockout power. He can catch anybody and drop anybody in this current crop of heavyweights. Fury is a boxer. He's the best boxer that I've seen in this crop of heavyweights. I just think that Fury may be a little overconfident. I'm not sure. And that's what gives Wilder a chance, in my opinion. Because Fury may come in thinking this guy is the same guy. He hasn't improved on anything. And we have to remember that Wilder is an athletic phenomenon. Wilder is super athletic. I've always said the key to Wilder's success was his athleticism, the way he can close distance in a hurry and get that right hand off. Will he add a jab and some body work and some better footwork to that? We don't know. Because the biggest problem with Wilder that I see is all he has around him are people who will not tell him what he needs to hear. They will tell him what he wants to hear. And if you listen constantly to what you want to hear and you don't hear what you need to hear, in my opinion, you have no incentive to do anything different because nobody's challenging you. And that's where I think Fury has the biggest advantage.
Shane, what you got to say about that? Because I want to interject on that as well.
Go ahead, you go.
Okay, well, I say this. I kind of disagree with Deontay Wilder is more athletically gifted than Tyson Fury from an all around standpoint. He can play basketball. He probably can play tight end or whatever in the football field and stuff like that. But I think in the ring, I think that he is not more athletically gifted than Fury.
I get that. I agree with that.
And I'm gonna tell you why. Footwork wise, Tyson Fury has way better footwork than Wilder. Now Wilder is able to close distance from the guys he's fought in the past. The reason why he was able to do that is because he fought a lot of flat-footed fighters who were just gonna stand in front of him, or he was able to. He fought C-level competition. In my opinion, I'm not gonna call them bums. I'm just gonna say that Wilder's career has consisted upon C-level competition. The best fighter he fought prior to Fury, some people would say King Kong Ortiz, which he was 75. Well, I don't know how old he was. 75 years old, flat-footed Cuban fighter, waiting for Fury, waiting for Wilder to throw his punch so he can slip it and then counter, flat-footed, right? Dominique Brazil. I think he played football or something at one point in time. But you have different levels of athleticism. So somebody from a Tyson Fury standpoint, and I think this is a big guy who's going to sit down on his punches. Someone who's not going to be afraid. He's going to come at you and make you fight off the back foot. Again, so I think that I don't think that Tyson Fury is looking at as underestimating Deontay Wilder. This is the heavyweight division. He understands that anything can happen. What stays in my mind, guys, is this. Deontay Wilder caught Tyson Fury with a right hook in the first fight. Tyson Fury saw the punch coming. So Wilder telegraphed the punch. I watched it this morning. I was watching it in slow motion. He saw the punch coming. Tyson Fury ducked down into the punch. Wilder saw him ducking, anticipated him ducking, caught him with the right hand. Bam, right? And then he came back with that left hook, dropped him. He did like this and walked away with the shimmy in his shoulders. Remember that, guys. Yeah. Guess what happened?
His face turned like he saw a ghost when he saw Fury get up.
Guess what happened? Tyson Fury got up. So he took your best punch. No, he took your best punches, plural, and he got up, and he was at 50%. So my thing is, what you guys have to, the way I'm looking at it, well, damn, he took the man best punch in the first fight.
Did it in the second as well.
And then in the second fight,
and walked right through it.
Yeah. So my thing is, you look real good, and you have you understand you have athleticism and stuff like that, and you look real good against King Kong Ortiz and Dominique Brazil and Bermain Stavern. But when you fought a guy who was bigger than you, stronger than you, you say he was pillow fisted, but he had your mouth bleeding, he had your nose bleeding, he had your face swollen up to the point to where you said you had your brother said you had an autopsy and you had a dent in your head, and then your ear was bleeding. So for someone who was so pillow fisted and can't punch, doesn't have punching power, he was able to really pretty much punish you in this fight. So what this shows me is I see a Tyson Fury who was able to make adjustments and become a bigger, stronger, change his whole game plan. Wilder's going to have to do that in this fight, but I don't think Fury is underestimating Deontay Wilder at all. I think that from a mindset standpoint, he looks at Wilder as this dude lied on me. He's not, he know what happened. He know I beat him, and he's still using these excuses. So I think this is what, as you guys know, boxing is 80 to 85% mental and 15 to 20% physical. So from a mental standpoint, I can't say Wilder is 10 times better from a mental standpoint because of what he's currently still saying out of his mouth, right? Now, from a physical standpoint, he could be 10 times better in the ring, but so is the mind thinking, so will the body go, right? So, and now we're still seeing that, hey, we're still seeing that some of these guys from the Alphabet Boy channels, they're putting videos together from what 3 people sent me today. Look, they're showing that he has a dent right here. Shout out to Showbiz the Adult for really clarifying that, breaking that down. Shout out to Counterpunch Boxing News, Kurt DeVille, hanging there, Kurt. The dent is right here. So my thing is this here. If this dent is still on the side of Tyson Wilder's face, even though it moved from up here to down here to his jawline, aren't you guys afraid, if you are a Wilder supporter, if his face is still damaged, dented, like you guys are showing on your videos, aren't you afraid that if Tyson Fury hit him in that same spot again, like he said he will, aren't you guys afraid that Wilder's going to get more damaged again? Go ahead, Shane.
Coach. Here's the thing. Go ahead, Shane. Go ahead, Shane.
Just like what AJ said in his recent Sky Sports interview, he said Wilder's not an elite boxer. No elite boxer comes into the ring with only one punch to be able to execute. You're not elite. And when you stepped up to elite level, i.e. Tyson Fury, you couldn't win. So it shows you're not elite. When you fought Ortiz, part 2, you lost every round on the cards until you landed the right. It's been like that even with C-level fighters. Check his cards. He loses most of the rounds until he lands the right. So maybe we shouldn't call these C-level fighters bums, for real, because they actually beat him on the cards. But they just lose once they get clocked with the right.
Right. And the only guy that hasn't, the only guy that's got clocked with the right hand and that went down, that didn't lose, was Tyson Fury.
Right. And then you've got big headlines everywhere that Wilder's jumping rope. Oh my God. Can you believe how pathetic that is? That because he's skipping, which he should be doing and which he should have done and which Mark Breland said that they couldn't get him to do. Now that he's skipping, you've got his cult followers up his ass making news reports of him skipping. It's pathetic. You can't even get any more pathetic than this. I want to like Wilder. I really do. I tried to ignore all of the stuff. And then the more the fan base kept spearing, I just couldn't go against my being. I couldn't go against it. And they just make me sick.
Go ahead, Shelton.
I just think that the excuse making and the constant holding on to the dent and all that stuff, we all know, I don't care what anyone says, I don't care what you Google. Bones do not dent, they break. So you're still holding on to this narrative, Wilder. You're still want to force people. They either have to be on your side or they're no good, and you're attacking all these black people. You're supposed to be so black, but everybody you're attacking is black. So I just don't get his mindset. I don't get why you would continue to hold on to the fact that this guy cheated. You haven't produced any evidence. You lost. The quicker you accept your loss and try to improve, the better off you're going to be. But if you continue to hold on to this mindset of you were cheated and the only reason you lost is because everyone was against you, the result's going to be the same in the third fight. I just don't see it changing unless he changes his mindset. Now, is he just bullshitting the public? Who knows? But in my opinion, if he doesn't change his mindset, nothing he does in the gym, nothing he does on the road with the jumping rope, none of that shit's going to matter because you don't believe that this guy beat you because he was better than you. You believe he cheated. So that gives you no incentive to get better. And what Fury says is probably true. Once you start to get hit, you're going to revert back to the same old stalking Wilder, looking for one shot, and you're probably going to get beat.
Hey, Sheldon, Lady Shan, this is something I want to say. Let me get this super chat out the way. Shout out to Lord Hybrid for the $20 super chat. Hit the Ali bell for the brother. You said Fury is a smarter fighter with many more punches in his arsenal. Fury also has better footwork. Plus, Fury is bigger. Fury ate 3 right hands from Wilder early in the second fight. I think the cheat photos were doctored. That's a possibility, man, because you can't just look at photos on the internet and say, yeah, this is what happened. See, this is proof. You can doctor stuff on the internet. We all know this, right? We do know this. Damn, I forgot my train of thought. Oh yeah, what I was gonna say is this here. Wilder still has the same mentality. Do you want to know why? Because I think in that interview, I think it was with Radio Raheem. He said something of the sort to where, you know, all I need is like 2 seconds to land that punch. So he's still saying the same things, Shelton, that he said prior to the loss. He still, all I need is 2 seconds. So basically, this is what they're doing. Malik Scott is trying to make Wilder a complete fighter, right? And they're saying that this is something that he used to do. We have to get him reacclimated to what he used to do in the past. He's never done any of this stuff that Malik Scott is talking about. I don't know what the hell I don't know which Deontay Wilder he's talking about. From the Wilder that I've been seeing, and I look at a lot of old footage, right? I don't remember this Wilder that Malik Scott is trying to create, saying that he's always had that. But I do understand what Malik Scott is saying from a psychological standpoint. From a psychological standpoint, tell a man whatever you want to hear. Let him know how great he is. Big him up. Because remember, it's 80% mental. He has to psychologically psych this guy out, right? I like Malik Scott. He's a nice guy. He's very articulate. He can hold an interview very well. It's very good that he's talking for Wilder. Every time Wilder talks, he opens his mouth. You hear lies and contradictions, right? But I will say this. So for all you Deontay Wilder supporters out there, and I want you to hear me very clearly. You know, I don't like Deontay Wilder because I don't like you guys. Deontay Wilder supporters are some of the most irrational. You go around the internet bullying people who don't agree with you. We can't criticize your fighter. And anytime someone criticizes your fighter, you want to go around on YouTube and just threaten people with not super chats, but threaten people in the comments and stuff. So I can't support this guy. I care nothing about him. I'm supporting Trevor Bryant, the current American heavyweight champion of the world right now. That's the champion that I'm representing for. But I can't support Wilder because of you guys. I cannot stand you Deontay Wilder fanboys. I'm just being completely honest with you. And so some of you guys come on this channel. I don't know why you come here. I don't like you. You don't like me. I wish you would just go back to your hole in misery. I really do, right? But I say all that to say this. The twerkinator, Deontay Wilder, is still has this, I got this one shot, that's all I need. The only problem with that is you caught Tyson Fury with that one shot, and it didn't work. So what Malik Scott is trying to do, I'm trying to show you a better way to land that same right hand that you landed successfully in the first fight, that you landed successfully in the second fight. So I'm going to show you a different way to land that same right hand that Tyson Fury got up from in the first fight. He ate in the second fight. So he tasted your power. Malik Scott also said that Wilder would probably knock Tyson Fury out by the 5th round. You know what I mean? So Tyson Fury is saying that he's going to stop Wilder before the 7th round. So it's going to be a great fight. 2 guys coming forward. We're going to see. I'm going to put my money on the bigger, higher IQ guy, the bigger fighter. Me. I'm betting on Tyson Fury. I got Tyson Fury stopping Wilder by the 10th or 11th round. I think if Wilder cannot get Tyson Fury out of there early, and Wilder has trouble with stamina in fights, he gets tired in fights, with his conditioning. I think he's going to get stopped. That's just my opinion. We will find out. I don't think he'll get July 24th.
What do you think about that, Chan? Chan, what do you think about Coach's prediction?
Yeah, I don't think it will get to that far. Not at all. If that gets to that far, then Fury's kind of failed. No, I just don't see it going to 10, 11 rounds. I see it probably being stopped in the same amount of time that it was. I'm in 2 minds. It's either going to get stopped real quick, because I feel that Wilder will come in with all the intentions of executing the new game plan and the new skills that he's been taught by Malik. And, round 1 will go by, won't work. Round 2 will go by, won't work. Round 3 won't work. And then he'll think, shit, I'm going to have to go back to this right-hand business. And then that's when Fury's just going to get him out of there. So I'm calling it probably in the first 6 rounds, to be fair.
I think it's going to go longer than that. I'm going to tell you why. The reason why I believe that is because, I'm thinking so. I think Wilder's going to come in. Wilder's going to come in 20 times better, 30, 40, 50 times better. The reason why I'm saying that is because when he get his ass whooped this time, we don't want no excuses. He came in 20 times better than he did the first and second fight. He had got a new trainer, Malik Scott. It's ironic that he laughed and picked at Tyson Fury in the build up to the second fight by saying, look, you changing trainers and all of that stuff there. I still have my same team. You got to get you a different trainer. you getting a different trainer not gonna change anything. This time I'm gonna bring my 6-inch nails from Alabama with my hammer, and I'm gonna nail you down to make sure you don't get back up. He made mockery of Tyson Fury changing trainers, and guess what? Wilder's doing the same goddamn thing.
Mm-hmm.
The hypocrisy in that. So this is what I talk about, guys. The double standard. The double standard and the hypocrisy from his fan base. I literally cannot stand these guys. I really can't. I cannot stand the Twerkinator army. I cannot stand these race hustlers and race baiters, and I just don't like them. And that I cannot stand with Wilder. I cannot stand with him. I won't stand with him.
I was telling you earlier, Coach, today. I think we talked earlier. I was telling you earlier. I was on somebody's chat last night. I'm not gonna mention, because we ain't trying to cause no confusion. But I was in somebody's chat last night, and somebody told me that Wilder is the leader. He's the face of boxing. He's the leader, and everyone else in boxing needs to fall in line. I was blown away by that. I was like, the level of fealty to this guy. I've never seen fans like this. I'm a fan of the sport of boxing as a whole. Mm. When Wilder's gone, when Spence is gone, when Crawford is gone, when all my favorite fighters are gone, boxing is still going to be here. Why can't we be fans of the sport instead of locking our allegiance and putting all our faith into this one guy? And when he loses, we can't accept the fact that he got beat by a better fighter. We got to make up 1,000 excuses as why he lost. They cheated. The world's against him. He's in the same boat as Muhammad Ali. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it, people. Didn't they say things like, oh, this is bigger than boxing? No, it's not. It's not bigger than boxing. It's a boxing match. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's all. That's all it is. It's a boxing match. And again, guys, let me reaffirm my position. My only issue with the race baiting is this. Does racism exist in the world? Yes. Classism, tribalism, sexism, whatever ism that you want to think of, it exists, right? The problem I have right here in America in 2021, you have a Black American from Alabama, from the country. I'm from the country too, but he's from the country. He's from Alabama. You know what I mean? So he's from Alabama. You know what I mean? So he's from Alabama. This guy has a net worth of $35-40 million. He's never been through any of the racism that Jack Johnson, Sugar Ray Robinson, Archie Moore, Floyd Patterson, Muhammad Ali, all of the greats that came before, Marvin Hagler, all of the great fighters that came before. You want to relitigate the 60s and 50s and your fanboys, your Alphabet Boy channels. You guys want to relitigate. Now I'm shooting at them. You Alphabet Boy channels want to relitigate the past. You guys are in your 40s and 50s, and then tied into Wilder and try to make this thing racial. No, he just lost. Fighters lose all the time. You see what I'm saying? He just lost. And then you guys, to this day, you guys are making excuses for this guy. Talking about he said had a dent in his face, this and that, yada, 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 yada. Anybody who's Black, who don't fall in line with you, you call them coons, sellouts, Uncle Toms, Sambos, this, that. You call the Black women who don't agree bed wenches, bitchs. You say everything in the world when most of you guys from the Alphabet Boy communities, you are married to non-Black women. Wow. You're married to white women, Asian women, Spanish women. You're married to everything other than Black, but you want to be pro-Black. You attack Jamel Charlo, he's Black. You lied on Mark Breland, he's Black. You attack Sugar Hill, he's Black. You attack Anthony Joshua, he's Black. You attack Dillian White, he's Black. As a matter of fact, you guys attack everybody that's Black, but you are pro-Black. Like the irony in that. So I like to point out the hypocrisy. I like to point out the hypocrisy in you guys. And as soon as someone like me don't agree with the narrative, you know what I mean? I got to be all these different names. Guess what? I'm cool with it though. I can handle it. You know what I mean? You're going to come back every day at 3:00 Eastern Standard Time to see me roast y'all ass every day because you are a pain freak. You are a gluten for this verbal assault. And I enjoy what I'm doing to you guys. I really do, because I know that you're slow. I know that you have low IQ. You see what I'm saying? When you have a leader named Jabba the Hutt, and his IQ was low, and you follow him, and your IQ is lower than his, you know what I mean? And you're following people like Judah Midget and all this stuff there. And of course, I understand, I get it. You have daddy issues. Your daddy wasn't in your life. You see what I'm saying? And so now you're looking for your surrogate father on the internet, and you found your dad through these Alphabet Boy channels. I get it. You see what I'm saying? I get it. But I just like to point out the hypocrisy. I don't care anything about who you marry and who you with. You love who you love. But don't talk this pro-black stuff when you're not living that pro-black stuff. Don't talk this pro-black stuff when you are the total opposite of the pro-black stuff. Don't talk this pro-black stuff when you are attacking black men every day on a daily basis. This is the hypocrisy that I have to point out. Again, I am not rooting for Deontay Wilder. I do not like Deontay Wilder because I do not like his fan base. His fan base disgusts me. You guys are racist. You racist as hell. I do not like the fan base, and that's how I feel about it. And I will continue to bang on you guys. You see what I'm saying? Don't like the channel, don't watch it.
That's what I'm saying.
Bye, Felicia. Go ahead, Shan.
That's what I'm saying. They come in my comments on my channel and tell me, can you stop talking about Deontay Wilder? All you do is talk about Deontay Wilder. Well, it's my channel. Why are you over here watching me talk about Deontay Wilder? We're not over at your channels telling you to. We can't even get on your channels and offer anything objective without getting timed out or being blocked. It's just ridiculous. The hypocrisy and the bullying. I've never been bullied a day in my life, and it's never going to happen this late in my life. I tell you that. And they're trying to get people's channels shut down. They've actually shut down a few channels already by trying to do some strikes. But you know, this is how pathetic they are. And then they expect us to not bang on their leader when this is what he flies his flag for. How can we like people of that character? How can we? And it just transcends the sport of boxing, and it's a shame because we love boxing, but this is not boxing, and we're covering it because it's still cloaked under the guise of boxing, if you get what I'm saying. And they're asking us, they fought tooth and nail, they came in every platform to talk about he's going to win the arbitration. Fair to them, he did. And now you're moaning at us for talking about him. Don't you want us to talk about him? He's fighting. We're in the sport of boxing. So we're going to talk about him in his entirety. He's making a mega fight, as you guys keep calling it. So we're going to speak about it. Which way do you want it? Do you want us not to speak about him? Or do you want to, if he didn't spiel so much rubbish and just played by the rules and just, you know, like any other normal boxer, we would just speak about the press conference as normal. You know, he's engaging, Fury's engaging. And then we do the rollout. But if he keeps spewing out and reconfirming conspiracies, like you said, all he needs is this minute, and we know what wasn't right over here. We don't have proof here. What are we supposed to do? Sit down and appease the LDBC or pro Wilder channels or not? And LDBC, not all of the LDBC members are.
Shan, listen. Shan, I don't mean to interrupt you. We have to say alphabet boys. I don't even like saying they letters. They the alphabet boys. Yeah,
sorry. Yeah, that's right.
No, I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
Well, I'll just say the alphabet boys. It's true. I'm getting bored of saying those 4 letters as well. The alphabet boys, like, not all of them have the same mind. Like, some of them are like, yo, you know, I support Wilder, but I don't agree with all the other stuff. But to what level do you not agree with all the other stuff? Like, how can you support someone that tells that many lies? Like, if Anthony Joshua or Bud Crawford came out with all of these types of conspiracy, as much as I like them, man, I'd have to bang on them and drop them out as well. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I mean, me too, Shan. I mean, I want, I would love to see them. You know, I'm just saying they don't keep that same energy. You know, and that's all I'm saying. They don't keep the same energy. And I'm not. You know, I'm part of one of the main Black American channels, reporting out of Miami. That's openly just. I call it like I see it.
Right.
I'm gonna call it like I see it. Listen, man. I love the sport of boxing more than I love a fighter. Terrence Crawford is my favorite fighter, and I don't cap for him like that at all. I barely make videos about him. Why? Because he don't have any fights. when he has a fight, then I will cover him. But so it is what it is. I just can't,
And they're all pro, like you said, they're all pro-black this, pro-black, bang on everyone that's black that doesn't go with what they want you to go with. They're bullies. And then, like you said, all their wives are not black. All their girlfriends are not black. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're pro-black, that defeats the purpose. If you come on your show and talk about, we've got to do what we've got to do as a unit, as one, but your wife's next door and she's white. Drop me out then. Drop me out.
You send a Sugar Hill death threats and Mark Breland, you're loud. It's okay.
Yeah, be pro people. That's what you should be. Pro good people.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Don't tie it down to a race. It's be pro good people. And you guys, them guys are not good people. All they vent is hate and race baiting, and it's just the energy that comes from them is totally disgusting, and I've never seen it growing up in the sport of boxing before till now.
Yeah, Sheldon, go ahead, brother. I know you had a phone call. You go ahead, brother. You can talk.
No, it's just amazing to me that we've come to a point, and I guess it's new because, like I say, I'm 54 years old, so I'm from a different era. So I guess it's new that now fans are fans of promotional companies and just blindly following one fighter and not acknowledging if he loses. Okay, he needs to go back to the lab and get better. It's like, no, it had to be some kind of plot because my guy can't lose. That's crazy. When Sugar Ray Robinson lost, Jack Johnson lost, Joe Louis, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, lost. Muhammad Ali, the greatest heavyweight of all time, lost. Mike Tyson lost. And none of those guys that I just mentioned ever made an excuse for a loss. They said, I got beat. I got to go back to the gym. I got to get better. They came back and redeemed themselves.
Right.
Wilder, I was always a fan of Wilder. I watched Wilder since his first fight on Showbox The New Generation back in 15, 15, maybe 13. But I've been watching him since the first time I saw him. I liked Wilder. Wilder is exciting. He's great for the heavyweight division. But he lost me when he took a loss and made excuses. After he went to Mel Charlo when he took his loss and said out of his own mouth, losing is okay. All great champions can take a loss and bounce back. Just get back to the gym, get better. You'll get your title back. So why is that good for him? But when you take a loss, it's got to be some kind of fucking conspiracy. That's the shit that made me stop messing with Wilder. I can't follow him. I can't be a fan of his because great champions don't make excuses. They get better.
Right. And I can even get over the excuse part. I know you guys may think I'm tripping on that, Shan. I can probably maybe get over the excuse part. The problem that I have is when you lie on someone else, Mark Breland. And I've been consistent with him. I'm defending the hell out of Mark Breland.
Right.
I'm defending the hell out of him. This guy is a classy guy. He has a great reputation in the sport of boxing. You're trying to destroy this man's reputation in the sport of boxing, but this guy helped you become a champion. Not Malik Scott. It was Mark Breland. You throw this guy under the bus. This guy receiving threats from your fanatical, radical internet gangster trolls from the Alphabet Boy community. These guys, the Alphabet Boy community, these guys, I'm 47, guys. I'm 47 years old. These guys are my age and older. And some of them are a few years younger than me. So they are old enough to know better. But they so damn deluded themselves, they sitting a twerk army out there. They twerkinator army out there. You see what I'm saying? Yes, I call Deontay Wilder the twerkinator because he likes to twerk. You see what I'm saying? So, and I'm going to continue to call him the twerkinator. That's what he is.
That's how I got on your channel. That first time I came to your channel and you said the twerkinator. That's what I said. I gotta hang with this guy. This guy's the guy.
yeah, man. I'm just calling it like it is, man. Like I never seen Ali Robinson, Joe Louis, Joe Frazier, Larry Holmes. I never seen them twerking. I never seen that. Shout out to Mercy Grace. Fury ate a couple of right hands. Ate a couple of his right hands hits a couple of times. I believe that in itself shows Wilder shows for Wilder to win, he has to step up his game greatly. Yeah, he just cannot depend on the right hand, because it's not like he hasn't landed the right hand. People say all he has to do is land the right hand. The only problem with that, he's landed it. The first fight, he dropped Fury twice. Guess what happened? Fury got up. Second fight, he caught Fury flush about 3 or 4 times. Fury ate it, rolled with the punch. So what you're saying is he just need to land that same right hand that he landed the first 2 fights again, and that's what's going to change the fight? Okay, well, I mean, that's a possibility. Maybe he can land it harder. Maybe he can throw the punch harder than he did in the last fight. All of that's a possibility. He does have a puncher's chance. I believe in my heart, and I'm gonna promote this fight to the umpteenth. Wilder is going to come in this fight 10 times better than what he did in the first and second fight. He's going to come in 10 times better. What I want to say to you, Beyonce Wilder fans, Tyson Fury is going to come in 10 times better as well. So it's not like Wilder's going to be up here and Fury's going to be down here. No, Fury's going to be right up there with him. Now, are we going to couple that with, I think Tyson Fury, all jokes aside, I think Tyson Fury has a higher ring IQ than Deontay Wilder. That's one. I think Tyson Fury understands how to set traps a little bit better, which that comes with.
Hold on 1 second, Coach. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second.
Someone wants to get in. I don't know who they are.
1 second.
You want to let him in?
Golden King. This is the most negative channel on YouTube. Then why are you here?
I know.
Why are you here? Change the channel.
Bye.
Bye, you loser.
Bye, Felicia. If you don't like the channel, leave. No one is asking you to be here. You're here for a reason. Leave.
I think someone wants to come in. He said, "Can I get in?" Mike Luffman.
Mike Luffman. I don't know. Let me see. I'm gonna try to find him, Shan.
He's just where you
tell him to show his face, Coach.
He's under Golden King.
Golden King. Yeah, I don't know who that is. So, I don't know if this is a troll or what. I don't know if it's a troll or what.
Might be someone with just a bit of a difference of opinion.
Remove your avatar and show your face so Coach knows who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Because I'm starting to get a lot of trolls over here. So, I'm gonna, I just want to make sure we have some solid people that come on. Shout out. Let's see. Shout out to Pete Geary. What do you say? Wilder fanboys are going to need help. If Fury wins, none of them can see it happening. Could you see it right if Fury wins in the stadium? Absolutely. I can see because I understand that mindset and that mentality. I can see these guys because they are so emotionally invested in Wilder winning that I can see some of that ignorance.
Let me disagree with you on that. We know these dudes are all bark and no bite. Number one. Okay. Number two, that fight's gonna be held in Las Vegas, Nevada. Number three, Nevada is a Bible Belt state and it's Republican. Number four, you fuck up in Nevada, you going to jail. Period. So they're not gonna do that.
Yeah, you might have probably not at Nevada. You have a point. You're right, Sean. I didn't even look at none of that. I'm glad you corrected me on that. You know what I mean? I'm glad you corrected me on that. You know what I mean? I really am. You know what I mean? I'm glad you did that. You know what I mean? So I just, he's going to come in. He's going to come in a lot better. You know what I mean? Fury's going to come in a lot better. Now, I don't have faith in Wilder, and this is just all biases put aside. I don't have faith in Wilder sticking to the game plan when what him and Malik Scott is working on does not work. Now, Sheldon, you was on the panel with me, Major Key Boxing. Please tune in to Major Key Boxing Mondays at 9:30 with my brother Major Key and Troy Graham. You was on the panel with me when we had a Scene Rock Man on there, Junior Jones, Chop Corley, and the legendary Tommy Brooks. And do you remember when I asked Tommy Brooks? I say, listen, but when you train a fighter to go into a fight, do you have what I said? I said, do you have a plan A, B, C, or D? You go into a fight. Do you remember what he said?
He said no. He said, when I train a fighter for a fight, I give him a plan A and I give him a plan B. If plan A don't work, we go to plan B. If plan B don't work, we go back to plan A. You can't give a fighter too much information. You give him too many plans, he gets confused, and that's how he gets beat. Two plans, plan A, plan B. Plan B don't work, back to A.
Hey, Shan, that was, that's coming from a legendary
That's interesting.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
that makes sense, defo.
You know what I mean? Like that was that was like a mic drop moment. You know what I mean? Because we're hearing it from this is Tommy Brooks.
Yeah.
This guy learned under Angelo Dundee, Eddie Fudge. He's worked with some of the best trainers in the world, and he is one of the best trainers in the world. Trained Tyson, Holyfield. I think he was in Evander Holyfield's corner when he beat Tyson, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but
both times. He
Both
worked
times.
with my man Georgie Benton.
Yeah, Georgia Benton. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he worked with my main man, the person I was a fanboy of, Mike Tyson, right? And Pernell Whitaker. Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker, Shan. You see what I'm saying? So, so I know what it's like to be a fanboy because Roy Jones, Pernell Whitaker, Marvin Hagler, and Mike Tyson, and RIP to Pernell and Hagler.
Right.
To the Ali Bell for them. I was a fanboy of both of those guys. So I get it.
What do you feel, guys, about how Wilder's going at it with Dillian White?
Wilder doesn't like Dillian White. He doesn't like Dillian White. So, and that happens in boxing. Fighters don't like each other.
Yeah. Calling him a roach. And it's funny, the back and forth. I love it.
What you have to think about is this, Chan. Mm-hmm. He's setting up that fight in case this one doesn't go as planned. Yeah. This fight don't go as planned. Dillian White will be next if he doesn't retire. I honestly don't believe he's going to retire if he loses.
No,
I don't think he's going to get any more. I don't think he's going to get any more $20 million bags if he loses. But I don't think he's going to retire. But if he loses this fight, there will be no more $20 million bags. He has to win this fight to stay at the top of the division. He has to win.
I don't know. And right now he's trying to. Now he's the Nigerian chief and king now. So everything that AJ is, he's trying to be that and trying to, I think it's just ridiculous. Like, AJ's not Nigerian. His parents are born in Nigeria, but Deontay Wilder, I'm seeing the narrative, he's more Nigerian than AJ. And he's going to do his African tour and go over there to Nigeria to his Igbo tribe. Bruv, you can do whatever you want. You'll never beat AJ, won't ever beat AJ in your day, in your life.
Oh, man.
Like, good that you want to trace your roots, but I can see the narrative that you're trying to paint. We see right through you. You're ridiculous.
He's trying to get sympathy. He's trying to get sympathy.
He's trying to get the Nigerian people to actually divide against AJ and be on his side. And when you go to different countries or I don't want to call, like, just because it's a third world country, because Nigeria is definitely rich and it has oil and it has, people think that it is different from what it is. There's skyscrapers, there's great technology. It's just like being in London, but just a different climate, by the way. But the mentality sometimes of people, even in the West Indies, when they see people coming from the West, they embrace, and they will run beside you and they will crowd around you. I can see the play. I can see it. I can see what he's trying to do. I see him. And I just hope the Nigerian people keep it $1 trillion and just make sure you stick by the real Nigerian AJ, Anthony Joshua, or the real Cameroonian Carlos Takam, or the real.
I don't think. I think, in my opinion, Shan, that African people are inclusive. I don't think they will buy into Wilder's bias about don't root for AJ. None, that's not going to change. None that's going to change. AJ is Nigerian. His parents are Nigerian. AJ is Nigerian. So that's not going to change. Wilder can do whatever he wants to do. He's going to get accepted because as a people, African people are accepting people. They're not judgmental. So he's going to be accepted, but he's not going to replace or supplant AJ. They're going to have room for both of them. We're
from the UK, and obviously we grow up side by side with everybody, Nigerians, Ghanaians, and they're tribal, and there's Nigerians that are from different tribes, and they go at each other religiously. Igbo tribe from this tribe, like it's a thing. So if he's already saying that he's from a different tribe to what AJ is, I forget the names. They will back him.
He said Igbo. He said Igbo.
Igbo. Okay. Well,
Igbo. I'm not. So basically, what you're saying, Shan, is from your experience, what goes on in the UK, there's a lot of tribalism going on.
Yes.
And blacks have always been tribalistic. on the continent. Africa has, when you're on a continent with 55 countries, and within those countries, like over here in America, it's very tribalistic in America. But
facts.
Yeah,
in
not
America,
Igbo. Yeah, not Igbo outlaw. Edo tribe. Yeah, I think AJ's Igbo. Yeah, so yeah, he's found out he's from the Edo tribe, so that's a different tribe from AJ, and then they'll start banging on each other. Like, I can see the play. Remember, I told it on this show.
Yeah, I think blacks, and especially here in America, we are very tribalistic. If you are with one gang and that guy with another gang, that's a form of tribalism. We call them sets though. What set you claim? What tribe you claim? Same thing. If you live in this neighborhood and the guys from Liberty City don't get along with guys from Overtown, even though Liberty City and Overtown is like right next to each other.
Oh, he's Europe.
We don't get along. If you in Tampa, if you're from West Tampa and this guy's from College Hill, we don't get along. And then people within the neighborhoods don't get along with each other. So,
well, you can take it back farther than that, Coach. Because when I was coming up, my grandmother used to always tell me, which is so funny. She used to tell me all the time, "Don't trust that motherfucker. He too light. You can't trust light-skinned motherfucker. Don't trust him. He too black. You can't trust him black motherfucker." Yeah, I mean, we're tribal, we're racist against our own people. Yeah,
we are. Yep. And that's what I'm saying. Like I just have to call it the way I see it. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be some form of accountability. You know what I mean? Again, my only issue is, and I have to reiterate this because we have some not people who subscribe to us, but I have to reiterate this to people who may just be coming through. My main issue is we have serious issues that have went on in the sport of boxing. People who fought tooth and nail in order to pave the way for these fighters who are fighting today to have a net worth of $10 million or $20 million or $40 million. And for you to take those pains from the past, rehash those pains from the past, and then try to tie it into you to try to get emotional support to say, hey, this is the reason why I lost because of racism. And there was a conspiracy against me. And I had a black referee against me and my own black trainer against me. And the black trainer who trained Tyson Fury, he helped him cheat. And Tyson Fury cheated. And my costume and the autopsy and the mask and someone put juju on me. And I just got to call you out on this stuff, bro, because people have lost their lives. People have suffered that paved the way for you. I won't let you do them like that. I won't let you do them like that. Not me.
Coach, do me a favor, Coach. Pull up the comment from Marlowe's Corner.
Marlowe's Corner. Okay.
I've never heard of the Edo tribe either. It's Igbo, Yoruba. It's true, 007. But he says he's Edo. I don't profess to know all of the tribes in Nigeria because I'm not Nigerian. So
where is it? Is it up top? Oh, Marlowe. No, that's Merrill Dixon.
I wonder if he's just made that up.
Marlowe's Corner. Yeah, I don't.
No, it probably is a tribe. You can go that far with lying.
Keep going up, Coach.
Keep going up. Okay.
Oh yeah. Dennis Schmidt. Whack ass channel, and you're watching it with your whack ass eyes.
Marlowe's channel.
Marlowe's Corner. No, he's right under the outlaw pugilist.
It's called Dennis Schmidt. And there's Dennis Schmidt as well.
I can't go up anymore.
Okay, I'll read it, Coach. Marlowe's Corner. Hardline boxing talk. I know, but he is known cheater, and I can see a lot of people don't know it. He beat Wilder, but let's not act like Fury doesn't have a history of cheating. We're not saying he doesn't have a history of cheating. He's been popped for PEDs, and people have come out and said that he did cheat. What we're saying is, in the fight that happened in February of 2020?
2020, yeah, last year.
February of 2020. In that fight, there was no evidence of the cheating that he said took place. If he had evidence, we would support him in that. If he can show us anything. Right. He's an American heavyweight champion. He was, and we would have supported him. But he can't make accusations and not have the evidence to back him up. Now, if you want to be loyal and just follow this guy blindly, that's your business. Do what you do. But don't come over here on this channel talking about we're ignoring it. We're not ignoring anything. We have no evidence to call that man a cheater. If you give us some evidence, we'll look at it. But he hasn't given us evidence in 16 months, 17 months. So that tells me he doesn't have any.
Right.
No, not only that. No, I'm not going to let him get by that easy. You're not just going to stick to Tyson Fury cheated. You're going to have to address Mark Breland, quote unquote, spiking Deontay Wilder's water. You're going to have to address Deontay Wilder saying that the referee was a crab in the bucket referee and was cheating for Tyson Fury. You're going to have to also address that Wilder saying that his costume made his legs weak. You're also going to have to address that the mask blurred his vision. When he took the mask off, he did not feel the same. You're also going to have to address that Mauricio Suleiman and Nevada Athletic Commission, all these people conspired against him. You're also going to have to address that Tyson Fury had the complexion for the protection. This is the reason why he was able to get away with all of the cheating that you say. See, you're not just going to stick to the gloves and don't address the other things that the Twerkinator brought up. That's what I'm saying. See, this is what you guys do. I understand that you love the Twerkinator. I understand that you follow him and he's your guy. I get it, Marlo's Corner. I praise you for being in love with the Twerkinator. I get that. You see what I'm saying? But if you're going to talk about Tyson Fury cheating, you're going to have to bring up all these other allegations that the Twerkinator brought up. And until you can show proof of that, on top of the gloves, I don't want to hear nothing else. Wrong channel for you, buddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it. You know what I mean? Thanks for the headphones.
That
You know what I mean?
drop. That was a mic drop there.
Yeah,
Okay, Marlo's Corner. I thought that was you addressing that. Okay, you said it was somebody in the chat. I apologize to you, sir. I apologize to you. I thought that was you because it was under your title and you put it in the chat. But that's my fault. If I was wrong, I apologize.
Marlo's Corner. I apologize immediately, sir. I didn't see the comment. I was just just reiterating that. So Marlo's Corner, brother, I apologize. I was wrong. I did not mean to direct that at you. What I just said, I'm directing that at the person who said it. So Marlo's Corner, once again, I apologize. I was wrong. I apologize. I'm sorry. But that's for anybody who still holds on to that. You know what I mean? Like, dude, there's no proof of anything that this guy said. And then when they had the press conference, he was listening to Beats by Dre, had his headphones on, and he didn't have nothing to say. To this day, which is his favorite word, he has not provided any proof of anything, of any of the allegations.
Hold on, Coach. My man right here. I gotta get this one. My man said,
Ronnie Brown.
My man said, where is he at? He said it's 2021.
No, Ronnie.
A man can't be bullied for twerking or some shit like that. What did he say? Alphabet boxing. It's 2021. Men can't twerk without being bullied. No, you can't twerk in front of me without being bullied. I don't care who you are. I don't give a fuck what year it is. You're a grown man and you twerking in front of me, you're gonna get bullied.
That's about it.
I mean, I won't even say that we're bullying him.
Arts and the P twerks. Do you twerk then, mate?
I'll say that, Coach. You don't have to say that, Coach. That's not on you. That's on me.
Yes, sir.
You twerk in front of me, you gonna get bullied. Don't do no twerking in front of me if you're a grown man.
Yeah, facts. We're not on that.
I just don't get it, man. Shout out to at Rock. Rock, what's going on, fam? What's up with you, brother? Rock 813.
Yeah, I got UK Jeffro. Someone told me Edo is a state in Nigeria. Got ya.
So yeah, man. So that's all I'm saying, man. I mean, that's all I'm saying. I'm like, bro, like, we got proof, and we're gonna show proof, and we haven't seen proof of anything. While at the same time, Mark Breland receiving death threats.
And
Mark Breland I don't know if he's currently receiving death threats, but his son, Sugar Hill got people. Sugar Hill got black people who look just like him. Drew the Midget. I hope you burn up in a car fire. Wow, really? Like what? Like where? What? I mean,
how are you raised? How are you raised where you think it's cool of you to say that to anyone?
Boxing.
What makes you think it's cool to say that to anyone?
That's wild.
You know what I mean?
Just shows mental and weakness. They're unstable. He's unstable. The person that said that is unstable.
Coach Williams. Coach Williams. Over a boxing match? You want the man to die and burn up in a car fire over a boxing match?
Over a boxing match.
Dude, you got some issues, man.
Right.
But this is why I can't support this guy. This is why I can't support this guy. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not gonna. Listen. I tried, man. I tried. I tried to say, you know what, man. I want to see the brother win. You know what I mean. I want to see him win. I'm gonna give him a shot this time, but I can't, bro. I can't. It would be hypocritical of me, and I would be lying to you guys if I say in my heart that I'm rooting for this guy. I'm not. I can't. And I don't really have hate towards him. I have a strong disdain for the lies he said. Not only that, but it really, the Mark Breland thing is the key, is the sticking point to me. And Sugar Hill is the sticking point to me.
Right.
And the fact that he has a rabid fanboy base that they just like I've never seen anything. When I started this channel 6 months ago, I had no idea what I was getting into.
Neither do I like this.
I had no. Shout out to Rachel. Rachel, shout out to you, sis. I had no idea what I was getting into. I had no idea that all of this racial stuff and race hustling stuff, and I had no idea that it was like this. And I had no idea that there was a cult-like following of certain fighters in this industry. Right now, we're talking about Wilder. It may be another fighter later on down the line, right? But I just have to address the hypocrisy. Shout out to Major Key Boxing. Shout out to my brother Major Key Boxing. I just want to address the hypocrisy. You know what I mean? The double standard. If these guys, Shelton, I have to say this. They say you got to have standards. If these guys did not have a double standard, they would not have a standard at all.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like it's.
What I did, Coach, last night, I asked a question on this chat I was on. I said, okay, so you say in the LDBC that you guys support all black fighters.
Black American fighters. They say black American fighters.
Yeah. Is it all black American fighters, or is it the black American fighters that you like, or is it the black American fighters that don't say anything that you don't agree with? Let me know. Give me one of them. Pick one.
Well, I can answer that for you. They are pro PBC fighters. That's one. Pro PBC. Yeah. That's one. Two, they are pro PBC fighters named Errol Spence and Deontay Wilder. Anyone else, as long as they stay on code, what they call code, if they keep the message, as long as they stay on that, they're fine. As soon as Errol Spence says something about anything that's off what they don't agree with, then his fanboys will start attacking him and start calling him coon and stuff like that. Anyways, Carmen Serene, that's what I'm talking about, sis. Let's hit the Ali Bell. Shan.
Oh.
Lady Shan, we have, Carmen Serene said, how come we're not talking about the American heavyweight champion, Trevor Bryant? Exactly.
Yeah, why?
I forgot about the greatest heavyweight in the last 20 years. Trevor Bryant, is that his name?
Yeah, Trevor Bryant. Yeah,
Hall of Fame. Trevor Bryant.
Hey, Shan, I'm finna make you upset now. Hold on, I'm finna make you upset. Anthony Joshua ducked Trevor Bryant.
Oh my God, AJ! How dare you? I know, and people would believe that, wouldn't they? They would, wouldn't they?
No chance. Dillian White ducked him. Or Dillian White ducked him as well. Wilder ducked him. Everybody ducked him. He's the greatest heavyweight in the last 10 years.
The WBA regular champ. Champ.
And to support my argument, and I think who that was. That was who that was came out. That was Troy. Troy clarified that. No, that was blood boxing. Clarified this. The WBA, Shan, I learned something yesterday. The WBA regular belt was the main belt. That was the belt that Muhammad Ali held back in the day. So the significance, my sister, let me break this down for you, my sister. The significance of the fact that Trevor Bryant currently holds the same WBA regular championship belt that our brother, the legendary Muhammad Ali, the guy who I have standing behind me, the legend himself, Trevor Bryant currently holds that same belt. Anthony Joshua doesn't have it. Tyson Fury doesn't have it. Dillian White doesn't have it. Deontay Wilder doesn't have it. You see what I'm saying? But my good brother, my brother, your brother, our brother, Trevor Bryant from Albany, New York, currently has that belt. So that belt has historical significance. You see what I'm saying, my sister? So I'm trying to bring you along to get behind this great heavyweight champion.
Preach. Take me to the Lord.
Chan, now, Chan, you're not going to be up here disrespecting the greatest heavyweight of the last 10 years.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey, listen. Hey, man.
I've gone too far. I've gone too far. I've gone too far.
Hey, what Blue say? Facts.
Oh,
hey, listen.
Why doesn't anyone big him up? Why doesn't anyone just like root for him and support him?
Man, I'm the only.
He is an American.
Chan, who is he?
I know.
Who is he?
I told you who he is. I told you who he is.
I don't know that guy.
I told you who he is.
I judge fighters on who they fought and who they beat. That's my criteria.
Listen,
that's why. Hold on. That's why I didn't understand why people were calling Luis Ortiz the boogeyman. Boogeyman of what?
Where?
Who did you fight? Wow. Who did you beat? Nobody. So you're not the boogeyman of anything.
Right. Right.
Hey, you know what? Listen, all I'm saying is this. In America, if you are an American right now, we need to put all of our support behind Trevor Bryant. He is the current heavyweight champion, WBA heavyweight champion of the world. Listen, this is facts. This is facts. Well, you know that he's the only one, and no one is talking about him, right? No one is. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna try to get Trevor Bryant on this show, and we gonna interview him, Shelton. I'm gonna try to get him on the show. I got somebody I can reach out to try to get to him.
So he can tell us how much better he is than Muhammad Ali?
No, he ain't gonna say that now. Trevor Bryant ain't gonna say that now. I ain't saying all that now. I'm just saying he's a champion. He's a champion. You see what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Listen, tell AJ, tell Dillian White, tell Tyson Fury, tell Deontay Wilder, tell Andy Ruiz to stop ducking my dog, Trevor Bryant. Sign the contract. Don King is waiting right now. Sign the contract.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, Sam. That's all I'm saying.
Big fight waiting with him. Big fight waiting for him. Big fight. Pay-per-view. He's definitely pay-per-view and everything.
Hey, I'm gonna stop.
Stop talking crazy, Sam. You know you're gonna buy. You know you're gonna buy Trevor Bryant's next pay-per-view.
I am. Definitely. Hey. I reckon he should move to the zone.
Hey, listen, man. Listen.
We'd love to have him here.
And we go, hey, Shan, I'm gonna big him up. You know what I mean? I'm gonna big him up, right? I'm gonna big him up, man. I'm telling you. I'm gonna big him up. Trevor Bryant, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get behind him. I'm gonna get behind Trevor Bryant right now. I'm getting behind him right now. It is what it is. Hey, let me talk to hey, Sporting Icons. Listen, you need to interview my dog. That's my dog. I don't know him. I never met him before, but I'm representing for him right now. You see what I'm saying? Trevor, knock him out the box, Bryant. That's gonna be his new name. I say knock him out the box for AJ. So that's AJ name. I can't give him that.
No,
but
that name.
We got to come up with a nickname for him.
Someone in the chat said they're trying to make Trevor Bryant versus Daniel Dubois next.
That'd be a good fight.
Daniel Dubois beats him, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean that'll be a Ron Boy Fresh. That'll be a good fight. That'll be a good fight because if let's say if that fight can happen, Daniel Dubois can beat him. You know, he has that belt. He has a WBA regular. Right. Now I don't know, Sheldon or Shan, we know that belt doesn't have a lot of significance right now. We know that the Super is the main belt now, right? And I think the Super came out in what, Sheldon, like 2000, 2001 for what?
Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis, like 2000, 2001. Lennox Lewis.
Right, so that's the main belt now. But does it put you in a position to become a mandatory for the WBA Super holder? I'll probably have to go to their website and see.
It should.
It does. Yeah, it does. I think it does. That's what it does.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
I don't know 100%, but I thought it did.
Shout out to Lil Blunt. Shout out to Lil Bullet. Talking about Lil Blunt. Lil Bullet, what's going on, fam? Let's have been one in the chat for Trevor. I'm for the type 1 right now for Trevor Bryant. That's what I'm talking about. And listen,
press 1.
Whether you like him or not, I'm not trying to make you guys like him. But the fact of the matter is, Trevor Bryant is the current American heavyweight champion of the world.
Right.
I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure out. I mean, WBA. We know Joshua is the real champion. But just saying, why? Since we're pushing the pro-black, we get behind all the Black American fighters. Why the Alphabet Boys can't get behind him? You see what I'm saying? He's not twerking. He's not making excuses. And you know what I mean? So, and he's 21-0, 15 KOs. You see what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying.
Someone said, I think they should
killing the narrative, coach. You're killing the narrative right now. You shouldn't do that.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. And you forgot. You got Christopher Lovejoy as well. 19-1. Get behind him.
Chan, who the hell is that?
Get behind him. He's utilizing his heavyweight, mate. Get behind him.
Who is he?
Does he have a belt? No, he ain't got no belt. AJ and Fury got on the belt.
No belt, but you need to get behind your American heavyweights.
Man, listen. I'm just all I'm saying is all I'm saying is this here, man. I just Trevor Bryant is my I'm bigging him up right now. This is the only channel on YouTube, guys, talking about Trevor Bryant. That's it. No channels from the UK, no channels from America. Sporting Icon, shame on you, because you should be talking about Trevor Bryant. And you should be.
Right. Great. We're doing boxing a great.
Lady shame on you.
I know. I'm sorry, man. I've failed in my endeavors. I've failed. 14, you failed as well. Lovejoy.
Yeah, I'm with you, coach. I'm with you on that one. I don't even know who this dude is. I never even heard of this cat. Lovejoy.
Oh boy, y'all got me over here crying, bro.
The only guy I've heard of Ajagba. I've heard of Big Baby Anderson. I even heard of the guy Coffey, Michael Coffey.
Hey, listen.
I can support those guys. But like I said earlier, my criteria is who you fought and who you beat. If you ain't fought nobody, it ain't beat nobody, you're not on the radar.
But in defense, Shan, I want to break this down to you, sis. In defense of Trevor Bryant, he is right. Shelton is right. Who you fight. If you haven't fought anybody, you can't talk about him. But in defense of Trevor Bryant, it's not his fault if other heavyweights is ducking him. He can't make these guys fight him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's a tough contender. He's a tough opponent.
That's the excuse they use for Ortiz all the time. Well, you could make those guys fight him, and this is how I kill him. Look, I don't care what you say or how you break it down. AJ offered this man $7 million. He turned down $7 million to fight for $500,000. That's all I need to know.
Ortiz.
Hey, Sport Icon. So this is the problem I have with you then, my brother. You said you did talk about Trevor Bryant, just not in the same hype way as me. Okay, so I need you to hype it up. Put some vigor in your voice. Put some respect, not respect with the T. Put some respect on Trevor Bryant's name. You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, Sport Icons. Put that same vigor and energy. You see what I'm saying? Because we got to bring, the boxing fans don't know who this guy is. So we need to big him up. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. We're trying to promote him over here. Because the Black Americans over here don't know who he is. So we need to make everybody know who he is so we can rally behind him. You know what I mean? Don King is still promoting. I didn't know that. But he's still promoting, guys.
He's 90s with Bob Arum. I know. Oh gosh, I just can't even be bothered. Sorry.
Hey, Shan, him and Don King and Bob Arum, I think they're the same age, like 90, 91.
90. Yeah, they're 90.
Damn, but they still hanging in there, boy.
I know. All for the love.
So let's talk about
when you're ripping people up, you live long.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Saturday. We got a big card coming up Saturday, you guys. Great card.
Saturday.
Barrios
and Tank. We got Lubin and Rosario. Just got a word last night. I got it on my information. J-Rock got an injury, so he's off the card.
Oh, J-Rock's off the card?
Yeah, he got an injury. He got an elbow injury.
I think I heard that.
So J-Rock's out.
Damn, I didn't know that.
So I don't know if they're going to put in to replace him.
Is that breaking news?
That's breaking news. J-Rock is hurt, and J-Rock will not be fighting on the 26th.
Wow, man.
I
Wow.
think I could hear that. I think.
Yeah, I got that this morning in my feed. J-Rock's out.
All right, guys. So listen. So check this out. So who do you guys have? Now, we know Shelton has Barrios. He said Barrios is going to stop Tank, right? So I'm on the fence. I'm thinking Shelton might know something. I'm just being honest. I'm thinking Shelton might know something. I'm on the fence. I'm going for Tank. How do you see this fight playing out, Shan?
I checked out Barrios because I wasn't really too in the know of him, and what I've seen is he's a good fighter. He's tall and rangy. He's a big dude for the weight cut. I don't understand why he's fighting at 140. We'll see him retire at a heavyweight for sure. He's massive, and he does have power. He does have pop. But he doesn't have the greatest head movement. He doesn't really have that much head movement. And that's where I think that Tank will come in, sneaking on the inside, and boom. But his chin is solid, though, because he's Mexican and he has got that Mexican chin. His chin is solid. So I wanted to say that Tank does drop him, but I don't think it's going to go the distance. Somebody's getting dropped. I just feel that Barrios is going to get stopped. Shelton feels it's the other way around. I can see it that way as well, Shelton. But, like I said, this fight is hard to call. But I think ultimately Tank stops him. And it's going to be like a late stoppage. Probably like how he did Gamboa.
You know what, though, Shan? Are you concerned with stamina issues from Tank?
Yes, I've seen him doing some extensive training, running in the heat like a madman. It looks like he's doing well in the training, and he's hired an addition to his camp for training, someone with experience. I forget the person's name. Forgive me. He looks like he's going all out. I do believe that he stops Barrios. I do believe he does.
Shelton, let me ask you a question. Is there a reason why Tank, it seemed like he skipped the 135 division? Even though he did have a fight at 135, but he went straight to 140. Some people say that the reason why he went to 140 because he struggles with weight. He has weight issues. He struggles with keeping the weight. So,
yes, I believe, because look, here's why. This is what I base my decision on. Tank won titles at 130.
Right.
He went up to 135, fought Gamboa, struggled with a Gamboa who's 38 years old, who tore his Achilles in the fight, and it took him 12 rounds to get that guy out of there.
Right.
He struggled with his stamina in that fight, plus he got touched up.
Right.
He went back down to 30 and fought a guy who really started at 118 but was really dominant at 126 in Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz wasn't throwing nothing that Tank was concerned with, but Leo Santa Cruz still touched Tank up. If he goes into this fight with Barrios with that same style, walking, taking shots to get a shot, he's going to get stopped.
Yeah.
He's going to get stopped.
Yeah. He'll get
He
stopped.
cannot fight that way against Barrios. I don't know if Tank knows another way to fight, because everybody's saying that Tank is this great boxer. Well, I've never seen him box. I've seen him steamroll people. I've never seen Tank in a boxing match. So that's why I think he's going to go in there with that same bully mentality. And as we saw Saturday, if you were watching, Beck the Bully had that same mentality, didn't he?
Yeah, he got knocked
What
down.
happened to him?
He walked right into that right hand.
Right hand and crumbled.
That's what I see. That's what I see. Now, I could be wrong. I got some bets out already. I could be wrong.
I see your point, though. I'm not against it.
But if I'm not, I'm going to make me a little money, and I'm going to have me a great time in Atlanta. My flight leaves Thursday at 6:30.
Would you say it's a 50-50 fight, Shelton? Or?
Definitely 50-50.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, Shelton and Lady Shan. I know more about Tank than I do Barrios.
Barrios, yes.
I'll just being honest with you. So for me, when I say I like Tank, it's mostly out of ignorance because I don't know much about
Go check
Barrios.
out some of Barrios' fights. Just type it in and you check them out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look at his fights. I'm gonna go look at his fights. But one thing I will agree with, and we saw this weekend. But let me get this super chat out of the way. Shout out to Lil Bullet. He says, Lil Bullet. He said, I've just this minute heard Joshua has warned Deontay Wilder on watch what comes out of your mouth. A real thing from Joshua. Oh, okay. Yeah, because Wilder said that he's already hearing that Joshua's making
he might have
excuses.
doing the Mandos. Mate. You don't know about Mandos because you don't know about multiple Mandos because you've held one belt. Yes, he does have Mandos. Where was yours?
But it was a choice of words for me. I hear that they're already making excuses. Coming from the guy who's made 1,000 excuses.
Oh my God, I didn't even think of that. Right.
That's my rebuttal. You're saying that you hear that, yeah, I hear that they're already making excuses. You see what I'm saying? Talking about Mandos and all that stuff there. Coming from the same guy who's made excuses.
And never having really Mandos. So anyway.
You know what I mean? So
never unifying belts, never doing anything in his how many decades of half career. So you know.
Hey Chan, me and you talked about this offline. I remember we talked about this. I don't believe if Wilder wins this fight, Coach. Me and Chan talked about this. I don't believe that Wilder will go for undisputed. I don't think he has any interest in being an undisputed champion because once you're the undisputed heavyweight champion, now you can't pick your fights. Now you got mandatories. I don't think Wilder's interested in that.
He's not.
Well, let me ask you a question, Shan. And Sport Icons, if maybe you can interject as well. Dillian White has, I could be wrong. Dillian White has what he's currently what the WBC what
diamond
intern.
The interim diamond interim.
The interim. Okay, what does that mean? Interim means what as it relates to?
So if anything happens to Fury, he vacates or gets stripped. Dillian White gets elevated to WBC Super Champ.
Okay, does that mean that whoever holds the WBC? Okay, like Wilder, like Dillian White was the interim champion for a while, right? I mean, prior to him losing the Povetkin, right?
Right.
Well, now, it's from my understanding that that meant that he was supposed to have been in line to fight. He's supposed to have been in line to fight the WBC, the guy who holds the WBC strap, which at that time was Wilder.
To fight Wilder next, and Wilder ducked him and fought Fury.
Okay, so. Drop the link. Okay, Sporting Icons, I'm gonna drop the link for you right now. My question is, it seems like Mauricio Suleiman and the WBC, they allow Wilder, certain fighters to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah,
they're against him. No, Coach. No, you're lying, Coach. They're against Wilder.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sporting Icons, I just dropped the link, brother. Okay, so Smith and West said he was a mandatory. That's different from an interim coach. Okay,
Yeah, he was a mandatory.
He said Dillian White was a mandatory.
No, Dillian White is the mandatory contender if Tyson Fury and AJ, or if Tyson Fury fights Wilder, and then whoever wins out of that fight, then Dillian White becomes the number one mandatory position to fight the winner of that. But if the super champ that holds the WBC for some reason loses their title, vacates it, or gets stripped, Dillian White then gets elevated to super champ WBC holder without having to have a fight. So it's like when you have a president and a vice president. If the president gets ill, the vice president then becomes the president.
So how come? Okay, I guess what I'm trying to say, how come Dillian White and Wilder never fought each other?
Because Wilder darked.
Wilder chose to fight Ortiz twice and he fought Fury once. He fought
But
Fury twice and Ortiz fought twice.
But
He was
how
supposed
did
to fight White, and he didn't take the fight.
White, and then he said to White that I'm going to freeze you out for the 2 years because White is too much of a. White is too much of a high risk.
All right, hold on. We have shout out to my brother Bo. Hit the Ali bell for my brother Bo. And I would play the sound of a round of applause, guys, but
I don't have it. So
and shout out to Sporting Icons, legendary Sporting Icons in the building.
Whoa, Sporting Icons. What's happening, brothers?
Stop.
What's up?
Hey, how y'all doing?
What's good, man? Hey, I'm gonna let you talk, Bo and Sporting Icons. I'm gonna let Sporting Icons talk first. Let me get the super chat out of the way. Shout out to the Mercy for the super chat. He said when it comes to this cheating conspiracy stuff, Fury cheated, and there was proof. He would have had to hand the belt back. I guess you're saying if there were proof, he would have had to hand the belt back on top of the ban. Okay, yeah, I mean. Wilder hasn't presented anything, but Sporting Icons. That's the question I have. Dillian White, from what I've been hearing for years, he was supposed to be next in line to fight Deontay Wilder when he had the WBC strap. Explain that situation to me, man, because I'm confused as hell.
All right, so he was number one for about 2.5 years. The WBC finally gave the green light for him to become mandatory and the interim champion if he defeated Oscar Rivas. But of course, a couple of days before that fight, there was an adverse finding with the UCAD testing. Okay. And even though that UCAD, the British Box Border Control, they allowed Dillian White to fight because there was nothing in it as far as they were concerned, the WBC, rather than wait for the result, they suspended Dillian White and took away his mandatory and awarded it to Tyson Fury, even though Tyson Fury had already agreed to fight Wilder. So even though that Dillian White was cleared of any kind of wrongdoing because of contamination of some of the testing or whatever it was, they didn't award him back the mandatory. So even right now, he's still not mandatory.
So what's the benefit of being he's the interim champion, right?
Yeah.
Well, the benefit is pretty much for the WBC to keep on taking higher sanction fees, really. But ultimately, if Tyson Fury goes on one of his scatty runs again and decides to retire or he gets stripped or whatever it may be, Dillian doesn't have to do a final eliminator. He'll just become straight away world heavyweight champion, much like Charlo did, much like Lomachenko did. Sorry, not Lomachenko. What's that young lad?
Haney.
Haney, Evan Haney, yeah.
Yeah, so he'll just become full champion. That's the benefit of it.
Okay, so the reason why I say that because I feel like just my opinion, I feel like Dillian White has been getting shafted.
Definitely,
he should have been had a shot at the title, man. And I understand Wilder doesn't like Dillian White, but I think that the WBC has been doing a terrible job, in my opinion, right? Because I'm confused as hell. I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm like, damn, dog. Like, when is Dillian going to get his shot? Wilder has fought Ortiz twice. He's fought Brazil, and he's fighting Tyson Fury for the third time, of course. And I'm like, well, okay. I was under the impression that he's supposed to fight Dillian White, but Wilder, he trashes Dillian White, of course. I understand that they don't like each other, but I guess what I'm trying to say is how come the WBC Mauricio Suleiman did not make that fight happen? If he was the mandatory or whatever, why they didn't press for that fight? Say, hey, listen, Wilder, no, you have to fight this guy. If you don't fight this guy, we're going to strip you. Because
he's a shill. Because he's afraid. If you look at Wilder, he's been champion for 5.5 years?
Yeah.
And
5 years.
You're supposed to have a mandatory defense every 12 months.
Yeah.
And to only do 2 in 5 years will tell you the whole story.
Exactly.
And when you look at his title defenses, when he's been fighting, say, Chris Arreola, when he's been fighting Artur Spilka, Johan Duhaupas, Gerald Washington, and so forth and so forth, they've all been from number 15 to number 12 ranked in the WBC.
Right.
And Suleiman lets him get away with it because of his relationship with the PBC.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Okay, that's the answer. That's it then. That's it. Now I get it. PBC is kind of similar to where Bob Arum, they say he has a good relationship with the WBO. And Don King had different relationships with sanctioning bodies and stuff like that. Okay, I get it now. Now I get it. So
But
it's like
changing now,
Dillian
though.
White is screwed.
Well, I mean, the PBC looks like they're almost pushing away the WBC now and replacing them with the WBA. I mean, look at their rankings. Out of the top 15, 9 of them are PBC heavyweights.
Right.
Hold on. What this guy said? He say, bro, if you really think Wilder can't beat Dillian White, then you just hating at this point. Oh, okay. Well, I guess he's talking to someone in the chat. Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, I mean that's so. Sporting icons. This is what I'm saying, right? Dillian White. We know that we know that he was supposed to have been fought Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
So apparently, because of PBC doesn't like Eddie Hearn or whatever, they didn't want him to go in that direction. So they picked to fight Tyson Fury. Cherry pick went wrong. They see that hey, it didn't work out. In the draw, Wilder, in my opinion, never should have rematched Fury. But I guess if he didn't rematch Fury, he probably would have been forced to fight Dillian White. I don't know. If that's the case, then it makes sense why he went ahead and picked Fury again. But they didn't know what the outcome is going to be. So and this is just my opinion, Shan, this is just my opinion. If Wilder is able to regain that belt, the PBC is not going to make that same mistake again in allowing Wilder to fight a non-PBC fighter.
Correct. And because then of what the heavyweight belts. You don't want the heavyweight belts to be all held by Brits. Right.
You know, they're not going to make that mistake. So, irregardless of what Wilder is saying that, hey, Fury is, I mean, yeah, Joshua's already making excuses. You know, it's ironic that he used that word.
Excuses. They're saying Joshua's making excuses now.
Yeah, so I heard.
Hey, but do you get what I'm saying, those sporting icons? Hey, Shelton, something is wrong with your I can't let you win. Okay, you got to come back in. Listen, sporting icons, check this out. They're saying that the Twerkinator is saying that, yeah, you know what I mean? They already making excuses. Now, of all the words he could have used, he used the word excuses. This is coming from the guy who made about 14, 15 excuses.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, like, oh my God, you need a publicist. Look, listen, just don't talk, don't say anything. Right. What he need to do, Malik Scott need to be everywhere Deontay Wilder goes. Right. When someone put a microphone in his face, he need to look at Malik Scott and let Malik Scott answer the questions. No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Because it's like at this point, you know, you need to be focused on this 6'9", 275, 80-pound Titan that's coming. You know, that's here already. You need to focus on him. Don't worry about Anthony Joshua and talking about they already making excuses. They got to fight. He may have to fight mandatories and stuff like that. Dude, you made 1,000 excuses. So don't use that. That's my only issue with that. That's my only issue with that. You know what I mean?
When you turned down $120 million to fight Anthony Joshua over 2 fights, that will tell you who doesn't want the fight. When you turned down at the time a career record of $7 million from Dillian White, that tells you who's ducking. When your own manager, Shelly Finkel, says that you can't unify against Vladimir Klitschko, who Shelly Finkel also managed Vladimir Klitschko as well at the time, which would have been an undisputed fight. He's not ready, he's still a baby, 33 fights, WBC champion. That tells you who keeps making excuses. When he could have fought Tyson Fury, when Fury defeated Klitschko, what is it that Wilder said in the ring after he defeated, was it Spilka, I think it was? Well, I'd love to fight Fury for undisputed, but I've got mandatory obligations, I can't do it. He was talking about Povetkin. He should have fought Povetkin. Sure, there's an adverse finding with the PED sample for Povetkin, but Povetkin passed the B sample. Wilder refused to do it, and the WBC allowed him to get away with it, which is why Wilder lost the court case. Right. Yeah,
I remember that. And you know, they don't talk about that. They don't talk about that. Hold on, Shell. Let me get the super chat out of the way. Shout out to Antonio Giles for the super chat. White had a chance to fight AJ, but the idiot turned it down.
Okay. Well, can I answer that one?
Go ahead. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that myself.
Okay, what's his name? Antonio? Okay,
Antonio.
So I did an interview with Dillian White, and within that one, I actually cut out a bit where I asked Dillian about why did you not fight Anthony Joshua? Okay, so I've got that, and there's multiple reasons for it. Firstly, again, I mean, maybe Dillian's just hating on Joshua, I don't know, but he's saying that Joshua refused to do 16 weeks worth of VADA. He only wanted to do 12, but didn't want to do 16 weeks of VADA. There's that one. Also, they offered Dillian White, it was a £5 million, but he knew that they'd already offered Big Baby Jarrell Miller, because I did an interview with Dillian before the Big Baby Jarrell Miller fight was even announced, where Dillian told me that AJ has already agreed to fight Big Baby Jarrell Miller. And even Eddie Hearn said as well that Dillian ain't going to accept this deal. This offer is not good enough.
You know what? I remember that. I think I remember that now. When this is what a couple of years, 2019, when AJ lost to Andrew Ruiz. They was trying when that deal fell through. When he was supposed to fight Big Baby Miller, but we know he popped dirty. I think he had like 12 or 15 different drugs in his system. So, but Dillian, is that the incident you're talking about? That's when Dillian White was trying to fight Joshua then? Yeah.
So they offered Dillian, it was about $5 million to fight Anthony Joshua at Wembley.
Okay.
But Dillian told me that he knows that they've already offered Big Baby Jarrell Miller more money, firstly, to fight in America, because DAZN wanted AJ in America. AJ had already agreed to all of this. So this offer, and even Eddie Hearn said, wasn't a good enough offer. They made the offer just to say, well, we did offer Dillian White the fight.
So it was a low ball.
It's a low ball offer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we can call like a $5 million low ball, yeah. But I mean, $5 million. Hey, listen, it's a lot of money and a chance for redemption.
Would that not have been Dillian White's biggest payday?
Yes, it would have been. Yeah, it would have been. It would have been.
Technically, it's not a low ball then.
No, but at the same time, there was something in the rematch that he told me about as well. That the rematch where he was still going to get a lower percentage than Joshua in the rematch had he beaten Joshua in the first time.
So do you think that he should have just took the fight and just he should have just took it? Do you think that's what he should have did?
Right now, no. I mean, if it turns out that Dillian never gets a world title shot, then I'm going to change my mind and say, man, you should have took the AJ fight, right? But right now, it's always been about the WBC. He's been paying the WBC sanction fees ever since he became international champion, international champion, then silver champion, and interim champion, where he's been paying these sanction fees for, I don't know, years now. He wants the WBC. He doesn't care who's got it. He wants the WBC. Then he wants to go into a fight with Anthony Joshua for undisputed. He wants to be where Fury is right now. He wants to have the ticket to go to say, AJ, right, now we're going to talk serious money, and now we're going to fight for undisputed. And I'm going to get revenge on you.
Hey, shout out to Matt Sedil for the super chat. He says that coach, what is the psychological makeup of fans who would believe every word of someone who calls himself your king? They want to be led. Exactly. And that's what it is. See, and in America, and I tell people from the UK, I say, listen, man, never get caught up in the the Black American politics when it comes to race and leadership. It'll just confuse you, because I'm confused and I'm from here. So but I understand it a little bit better. Basically, we have a savior complex going on in America, in Black America, and we have people who just want to be led. We're looking for leaders. No other ethnic group in America is actively going around calling people their leader. This one person represents our group. Only here in Black America that happens. So that's where you get the Al Sharptons and the Jesse Jacksons and stuff like that. They come about. So that's what's going on. And as it relates to the sport of boxing, to the Twerkinator fans, Deontay Wilder fans, they want to be led. They're looking for a leader. This guy represents us. Wait a minute. We are not one monolithic group of people. You know what I mean? We all are very diverse. We have different thought processes, according to definitely me. You know what I mean? So I don't, it is what it is. They just want to be led. I'm the leader. You know what I mean? You're a leader. I don't need someone representing me. I can represent my damn self because I'm an individual. You know what I mean? And you're right about that, Matt. You're right about that. I just wanted to address that. So that's one icon. I want to ask you one more question. This weekend, how do you have this fight playing out with Barrios and Tank Davis?
Well, I mean, for me, I think that this is an obvious one. That PBC, Al Heyman, they want Gervonta Davis in there at 140. I mean, firstly, because he's a fat little shit and can't lose weight. But they're going to put him in with Barrios, who is a good fighter. Okay, he's got the height, certainly the height and the reach advantage. But Gervonta Davis is a short, stocky little fella who's going to chop that tree down. He's going to beat Barrios, become, a three-weight world champion. Josh Taylor is then going to vacate all the belts soon, and then they will elevate Tank to full WBA super champion. That's how it's going to work.
So you say you see what the brother named Josh Taylor moving up?
Yeah, definitely. He'll fight Crawford.
You think so?
Well, I think firstly he'll do the mandatory defense against Jack Catterall, then he'll move up.
But Crawford is, according to, I don't know if you talked to Bernie the boxer or not, but Crawford is leaving in October. His contract is up in October. Now I don't know if what he didn't clarify for me was does Crawford have one more fight on the top rank, and he has to fight that fight before the month of October or by the month of October in order for his contract to be up, or can he just, if Bob Arum is not able to secure a fight for him when October comes, he can just leave? I haven't confirmed that yet. I'm not going to lie, but Crawford is supposed to be, irregardless of what, because he didn't clarify with me, and I've been trying to talk to Bo Mac, but I've been unsuccessful at it. So if you can find out something, or you or Shane can find out something, I really appreciate that. But I've spoken to the guy, Bernie, via chat a couple of times, and I believe when Crawford leaves, he's going to get a boatload of money. I would love to see him go to MTK Global. I think they do very good for their fighters. Eddie Hearn, is very interested in him from what I'm hearing, and or he can deal directly with DAZN. But
I mean, I know a lot of people will probably expect him to go to the PBC.
Yeah, he's not.
That's where the welterweight fighters are. But
he's not.
How many PBC fighters do they have within their own stable that don't fight each other? Look at the whole Leo Santa Cruz, Gary Russell situation. That's been dragging on for how long? So for me, right. I think it'd be a bad move if he goes to the PBC, and he'll get paid less money, by the way, because he's getting way overpaid on Top Rank. He's on a real good deal. I can see him going to DAZN.
He's not Sport Icons. He's not going to PBC. I can tell you that now. They do not like PBC. No. Listen, Bernie said that they feel that they're being blackballed by Bob Arum, even though they had a good relationship with Bob, but they're being blackballed by Bob Arum and Al Heyman. He's not going. He's not going over there. He's not going over there. He's not going over there.
Then it has to be DAZN, then, won't it?
Yeah, it has to be DAZN. Well, yeah, I think if he can work something out to where he can fight on a fight by fight basis. Yeah. Eddie Hearn is going to pay him. I think DAZN is going to pay him. I'm not saying he's going to get paid $10-20 million. He's not going to get paid that. But I think they could give him something like maybe $5-6 million guaranteed or something like that. I mean, hell, Eddie Hearn paid I don't know if it was Eddie Hearn or Mikey DAZN. They gave Mikey Garcia $7 million to fight what the dude name Vargas.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all gave Mikey that much money for one fight? So
I was just about to say, don't be surprised if you see Crawford versus Mikey Garcia then.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I would love to see him beat the brakes off of Mikey Garcia. Listen, I'm gonna tell you that Terrence Crawford is my guy. That's my favorite fighter right now. If Terrence Crawford and Mikey Garcia fight, Mikey's gonna get stopped.
Yeah.
It won't be none of that. I'm gonna beat you for 12 rounds like Errol Spence did. No. He's getting stopped. Listen, I have another question. Shan, I want you to answer this too. Now, this is about, hey Shelton, I just dropped the link for you, brother. Bo, I want you to interject on this too. Remember they were saying that Manny Pacquiao, he went on this streak to where he wasn't knocking people out anymore. Paulie Maldonado was saying for years that Manny Pacquiao has been a drug cheat. Shelton, I got you in here, brother. He's been a drug cheat, right? Now, Manny Pacquiao's never popped dirty for anything. Now, irregardless of whatever the speculation is, they were saying that you see now he's not able to knock fighters out like he used to. This is proof that he was on PEDs. Okay, cool. Let's say we run with that narrative, right? When was the last time Errol Spence knocked somebody out?
Oh, yeah.
When was the last time he knocked somebody out, Shan? And he fought a 135-pounder, Mikey Garcia, because Mikey Garcia only had maybe one or maybe two fights at 140 pounds, right? He's only had maybe one or two fights at 140 pounds. Then his first fight was at welterweight, and he fought Errol Spence. So Errol Spence could not knock him out. He didn't knock out Sean Porter. He didn't knock out who else he had? Danny Garcia. And he literally landed every punch that he threw against these guys.
You think that he beat Porter?
Yeah, he beat Porter.
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. The knockdown was in the 11th round, And then in the 12th round, I had Errol Spence winning the 12th.
Okay.
To be honest with you, but he won in a split decision. If Porter never would have got knocked down, I would definitely give that fight to Porter. I think the knockdown in the 12th round is what swung it for me. To be honest with you, only because of that. Ronald Finkley said, "What's wrong with Taylor moving up to 147 pounds? T-Bud did it in a spectacular fashion." Yeah, I'm not saying this.
T-Bud. Taylor ain't T-Bud, Ronald Finkley. Taylor's a good fighter. I like Josh Taylor. I'm a fan of Josh Taylor. Taylor is not Crawford. Two different levels of fighter.
Yeah, on your phone, I'm breaking up. Bo, what do you have to say about that? When was the last? Okay, the brother made a valid point. The last time Errol Spence knocked somebody out was he fought Ocampo back in 2018, and he hasn't had to stop it since. So if we're going to run with that same narrative that Manny Pacquiao was on, Manny Pacquiao has not been able to knock anybody out since 2017 or whatever. This is proof that he was on PEDs. And we're going to use that same narrative. And that rumor's kind of been speculating about Errol Spence as well. If you haven't heard it, I'm telling you, it's been going around from certain people on certain channels. My point is, if we're going to run with that same narrative, what about Errol Spence?
I think Errol Spence looked like he was on the verge of stopping Mikey Garcia. It just Mikey Garcia toughed it out. He's real durable. I think the difference between how Errol was finishing guys compared to Pacquiao would just like blow him out the water. Errol Spence, it took like it accumulated of punches like round after round after round after round, and finally they wore down and stuff. So I don't really have a definitive answer for either of them, to be honest with you. Maybe just the competition.
Lady Shan, what do you think? Shan.
She fell asleep.
no, I think she might be doing something.
No, I was saying, first of all, Sporting Icons, it's good to finally speak with you, brother. Been watching you for a long time.
Thanks, man.
Good to meet you, man. Back to what we was talking about earlier before I had to take that phone call. That's the same argument. The same thing you presented is the same thing I was saying about my man, Luis Ortiz. They can say he was this, they can say he was that, right? You had an offer for $7 million to fight Anthony Joshua when you never made over 250, 300K, and you turned that down to fight Wilder for 500,000. That's all I need to know about who wants to fight who.
Exactly.
So Shelton, what do you think about you talked about this, the Manny Pacquiao PEDs not able to knock anybody out anymore. Rumor that it's because the spotlight is on him. What about Errol Spence? He hasn't knocked anybody out since Ocampo in 2018. This
is what I say. This is just my opinion. Has Manny Pacquiao in 21 years of professional boxing ever tested dirty for anything?
No.
So that blows that shit out the water. Number two, if you agree to fight Manny Pacquiao without testing, whose fault is that?
Well, you gotta look at it like this too. You gotta look at it like this too.
What?
How many guys throughout their career tested, before the fight anyway? I mean, because it seemed like this whole testing thing that become real popular until Floyd Mayweather started this Olympic style drug testing. So we can't really say people weren't popping dirty before then. They weren't even tested. So I mean, you can't say.
But here's the thing. This is what I'm saying, Bo. This is my point.
Sorry, I'm back.
We know that.
Sorry.
We know that didn't happen before, but since it's been implemented, right? Since it's become a big thing in boxing, you following me, Bo?
Yeah.
If you want testing, if you believe that people are cheating and you don't want to fight anybody that's a cheat, you implement the testing. If you agree to fight someone that you think is a cheater and you agree to eliminate the testing, whose fault is that?
Okay,
I agree. Like it's
that's
like
your
Keith Thurman.
fault.
Yeah,
that's your fault.
When Keith
that's
Thurman
his fault.
Yeah.
That's his fault. He shouldn't have to test it. If you want to question it after the fight, it's bullshit. If you want the man testing in the contract or no fight. So basically what I'm saying is the testing more important to you or is the fight more important to you? Because Manny Pacquiao is the star of the welterweight division, whether anybody wants to admit it or not. He's the guy. So when you fight Manny Pacquiao, he's going to big boy you, and you're going to have to agree to his demands or there's no fight. Am I right or wrong?
Right, I agree with that.
Right, I see what you're saying. He don't have to agree. You don't have to agree to the terms. You can just say, "No, I'm
you don't
not
have to
fighting
agree
you."
to the terms.
That's
if
what
it doesn't
Floyd
make
did.
a problem for you, don't take the fucking fight.
Shan, are you back now?
Yeah.
So okay, same question to you. They were saying that Manny Pacquiao. There's a rumor, and I asked on Sporting Icons this. I might have to ask him as well. That rumor that Manny Pacquiao was on PEDs. He's never got popped dirty for anything, so I can't speak on it. And I remember Paulie Malignaggi saying this. He's been saying this for years about Manny Pacquiao. Has no proof though. But rumor. So he's saying that this is proof that he couldn't. Proof is Manny has. When was the last time Manny Pacquiao got a knockout? So once the spotlight came on Manny, he wasn't able to knock anybody out anymore. I.e., this is proof that he was on PEDs, right? Okay, cool. I'm not saying this. I'm just asking a valid question. I'm saying that if we're gonna hold him to that same standard, what about Errol Spence? Errol Spence, there's been rumor that he's been on stuff. Why Errol Spence, the last time he knocked somebody out was in 2018 when he knocked out Ocampo.
Yeah.
He fought 135-pound Mikey Garcia, and he couldn't knock this guy out. Now, I hear what Bo's saying. He was on his way to knock him out. There's no way that fight should have went 12 rounds. He should have been on his way. He should have knocked him out. Because I'm pretty sure, and I'm biased when it comes to Terrence Crawford, but if Crawford would have fought Mikey Garcia, his ass would have been out of there about the 6th, 7th round. You ain't going 12 rounds.
Garcia's got a very good chin. If to my knowledge, he's either never been dropped or dropped only once.
Right.
So, I put the same standards on Errol Spence or anyone that doesn't want to do the VADA testing. I'm just saying that Manny Pacquiao, they do say he hasn't knocked anybody out since the spotlight was put on him. My thing is, if you know that your name's shrouded with this topic, when the testing is available, as they say, it's optional for the WBC or whatever, take it every single time. So you just dispel all the rumors. What have you got to lose? What have you got to hide? Do you understand? If you've got nothing to hide, take the test at all times. And then people have nothing to say. Errol Spence, I just think that Errol Spence is going along with it, in my opinion, because he's gassed that he's fighting Manny Pacquiao. And like you said, Manny Pacquiao is the A side. And when Manny Pacquiao calls the shots, if Pacquiao says, I'm not doing VADA testing, that's it. Then Errol Spence is not going to do, obviously he's not going to do the VADA testing either. He's just going to go because he wants to have Manny Pacquiao on his resume. So whatever Manny Pacquiao says, Errol Spence is going to go with. But afterwards, if Manny Pacquiao beats him, I don't want to hear nothing about, we should have did VADA testing. He was juiced up. Don't want to hear none of that. That's it.
Yeah, and this is what Shelton is saying. Shelton is saying that if you are so concerned that Manny Pacquiao is dirty, Errol Spence should not. And I'm hearing that Errol Spence is not in the VADA as well. No, so if you are so concerned with that, Errol Spence should not agree to fight anybody, or agree to fight Manny Pacquiao if he's right. You should stipulate that. If you're so concerned about that, say, Manny, I'm not fighting you unless we do this. Because we don't want to hear any excuses after the fight. Yeah, man. Well, you know what, man? This is what I think happened. Because we know that's what's going to happen. We know that's what's going to happen. That's my whole point of bringing this up. Sport Icons, what do you think?
Hang on one sec. Smith & West said the test is expensive. For 12 weeks of VADA is about 40K. These are multi millionaires, mate. 40K in the grand scheme of things is nothing. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Sporting, you go.
Sporting, what do you think about that?
But don't the WBC pay for it?
I don't know. I keep seeing people saying that the fighters have to pay for it. So I have no clue.
No, sporting. No, the fighters have to pay for it themselves.
Right. Okay. But okay. So when it comes to Spence and Manny Pacquiao, I heard that the latest that neither one of them are enrolled in VADA currently. How can you be WBC champion or WBA champion and not be enrolled. That's against the rules. It should be, as the WBC say, to be part of their clean boxing program. If you're ranked in the top 15, especially when you're champion, you're on 365-day a year random testing. So how did Spence manage to get out of that?
Yeah, so Spence is not enrolled in testing as well?
Apparently, yeah.
That's
Spence
the
and
rumor.
Pacquiao.
Wow. So it's amazing how the narrative is painted when it comes to Pacquiao. You bring up all these different scenarios, but when it comes to your guy who you like and support, you just sweep that under the rug.
Yeah, but
that's
no
amazing.
one's going to do one-sided VADA testing. If one person says they're not doing it, it makes no sense really for the other person to do it. So what I'm saying, if Manny Pacquiao says, I ain't doing it, unless Spence stipulates it, no testing, no fight, then he's going to go along with what Pacquiao says.
All right, Troy, I'm going to let you talk in a minute. Let me get the super chat out of the way. Hey, shout out to Toon for the super chat. He said, yeah, you're going to move up 8 weight divisions, same power. Got even faster. Calves looking like Bam Bam. Bat head swole up. And all we know, Pac was on something, same as Marquez. Yeah, but we have no proof of it though.
Can you prove it to him?
No.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so as far as moving up 8 weight divisions, you see, people seem to think that because obviously most people, they don't look at like the lower weight classes, they look at pretty much from 140 onwards, don't they? But Pacquiao came up from, what was it, like featherweight? There's like 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 4 pounds different.
You came out lower than that.
Lower than that. Yeah. He started at like 112, I think.
Okay, so there you go.
Like
so
straw weight.
Okay. So
and they like 3 pounds apart when you get that low anyway.
Was it bantamweight? I thought it was bantamweight.
No, too low bantamweight. Sorry, sports.
So all you really need then is to have like a couple of binge nights on the pizzas, and you're going from minimum weight right up to welterweight anyway.
And then you gotta look at it like this. He started boxing at what, like 16 years old, so he was still growing.
Yeah.
15, bro.
Yeah.
15. Oh, okay.
Started at 15. Yeah. So I mean that plays a big part as well. But speculation without any proof. That's all I'm saying. Do you have proof of it?
And then the lower weight classes, they like what, 3 pounds apart. So it's kind of like somebody just moving up 1 weight class apiece.
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah, you're right about that. Hey, Troy, go ahead, brother. Troy, you still there? Troy?
Wake up, Troy.
Yeah. I'm in a bad area, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was just at a light in a bad area. Now, about this VADA test, that test is voluntary. It's not a mandatory thing. Nobody has to take it. Nobody.
You do if you're champion.
Yeah, Troy, you're
I'm breaking up again.
Yeah, your service is bad.
Yeah, I'm passing a bunch of trees. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
No. Okay. Yeah, that a VADA test is not mandatory. It's actually a voluntary thing, and it's not like it was a part of boxing. That was something that Floyd brought to boxing. And as far as getting tested, boxing has its own test. Boxing has a drug test, and Pacquiao has never failed a test, like Sheldon said, in 20 plus years, right? And as far as his knockouts, I don't believe he's ever knocked anyone out at 147. And if you look at his record,
he stopped De La Hoya at 147.
No, he didn't knock him out though. De La Hoya retired in the corner.
Yeah.
You mean the zombie? You mean the zombie that was weight drained and it should have been retired? Him? I'm talking about a real welterweight. No, but if you go look at his fights, right? His last couple of fights, most of those cats were not knocked out, but I think he did stop someone. What's the guy's name? Machine, right? Lucas Matisse, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucas Matisse, yeah.
Right. But he came up in weight, didn't he? I don't think Pacquiao has stopped anyone at 147 ever. I don't think so. And
I mean, he stopped people, but I think it was accumulation of punches, but he hasn't knocked anyone out. I
Because
think
he's
I
that's
don't
fighting the
know
best,
for
isn't he?
welterweight that he stopped. I don't know for welterweight
But
that he stopped that.
what about Miguel Cotto? Wasn't that at 147?
no. I
Nah.
think Miguel Cotto was a catch weight. He had to, I think
Yeah, that was like
I'm not sure. I think it was the catch
147.
weight.
That was 143 or something.
Troy. Yeah, Troy got a bad connection. Go ahead, Sport Icons. What you got to say about that?
Well, I've got to say that, I mean, as far as knocking people out for Manny Pacquiao, you have to look at it. Pacquiao, he's been taking on the best of the best of the best repeatedly. Okay, he's had the odd cherry one here and there, but when you're fighting the guys at the top end, it's so difficult to knock these guys out.
Okay, yeah, the top end fighters. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, the top fighters are of different heart. Gamo, what you got to say, fam?
Hey, yo, what up, panel? I'm just tapping in live from LA. You know, you got the Young Buck tapping in. I was listening for like an hour or so. I just had to tap in because I heard you guys were talking about a lot of stuff. So regarding drug testing, man, it was Floyd Mayweather. He weaponized drug testing in boxing. He weaponized VADA because before there was no VADA, there was just regular USADA Olympic-style drug testing. And then there was the commission drug testing from the sanctioning bodies. But Floyd, in 2010, when Pac was supposed to fight him, and he ended up fighting Claudy, you know, it was all Floyd and Al Heyman why the fight really didn't happen. All these drug PED gear, trend, clen accusations it was a whole smoke screen to the media. And Floyd did get sued by Manny, and he won those allegations because that whole thing was a smoke screen in 2010. Why the fight didn't happen because Al and Floyd didn't want the fight. It was too high risk at the time. So bringing in VADA, why it didn't happen was Manny agreed to drug testing right after the fight and 2 weeks before. You know, he just didn't want to get tested the day of the fight because VADA, if you know, they take 3 vials of blood. You know, when they take it from your arm, they take 3 vials of blood, and that's a lot. If you know anything about taking blood, that's 3 vials. When Floyd had an agreement, he only needed to take 1 vial of blood. And if you perform, that's definitely going to alter your performance during fight night. You know, if you're taking 3 vials of blood hours before the fight and you got to go 12 rounds, and that's a lot. And if you know anything about cycling, being on gear, you know, it would show up right after the fight. You know, it'll show up right after the fight. So just regarding this drug testing thing, it was Floyd, man. He weaponized drug testing to his advantage. And he was always like that, man. Cherry picking, working with Al, trying to choose the best spots, being a businessman for a fighter. And Manny never popped dirty, man. It's just, which happened to be the LDBC, a lot of Floyd fans. Take nothing away from Floyd. Floyd has always been the better boxer than Manny. It's just Floyd weaponized it, man. In 2010, since he weaponized drug testing, VADA, and that was a whole smokescreen. Manny never popped dirty. It was just narratives being pushed, and now they're resurfacing because Spence, the LDBC's poster boy, he has a real chance to lose, right? So now the LDBC is shook that Spence has an actual chance to lose, and they're getting ready. They're getting all the excuses ready just in case he loses. Same thing with Wilder. They already have a plethora of excuses ready just in case he loses. And that's the LDBC, man. They going to push the peds. They going to push so many narratives if Spence loses, man. And I do believe Pac-Man is going to take his belts. Definitely. Team Pacquiao, baby. We here in LA. We're waiting for Manny to touch down. You already know we're going to get to training, man.
All right, so we have a member. Go ahead, Bo. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just gonna say something, Gama. I'm gonna slightly disagree with you about why the fight didn't happen. That wasn't Floyd's fault, because according to Bob Arum, he came out and actually admitted that the fight didn't happen because of him, as in Bob Arum. And
well, Floyd and Al knew this was this was Floyd's super fight. They knew this was the Super Bowl of boxing. So Al knew he basically told Floyd, let's milk the fight. Let's not take it out. Let's wait till this guy slows down and let's push this smoke screen. Just like how Al and Errol don't want the Crawford fight because they know that's Spence's biggest fight and they're gonna milk it.
I mean, that's your opinion, but I mean, I don't, you know, and I get where you're coming from. Go ahead, Bo. You can.
Yeah, here's my thing. The Pacquiao, according to the articles, Pacquiao didn't want to take the. I guess it was they pushed it back to 2 weeks out because originally it was like 3 days or maybe the day of the fight, but then they pushed it back to 2 weeks out, and then Pacquiao didn't agree to that, and apparently, I guess there was some type of a phone call saying from Pacquiao's camp to what's the name, Leonard Ellaby, basically saying, what if he was the Pop Dirty or something like that? What would happen? You know, and then I guess that whole thing fell apart because remember there was a rumor in the Pacquiao camp about Ariza, right? Give her like some special drinks or whatever the case is, and Freddie Roach had to kick him out or something like that.
Yeah, I know Alex Ariza personally. Like I know man personally. I'm like friends with his team, waiting for him here. And you know, Alex Ariza, a great strength and conditioning coach. He worked with Floyd too. I don't know if you knew that.
Nah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he worked with Floyd too. So I mean, if you say, oh, he helped Manny Juice, then you could say the same thing about Floyd. But hey, that's the past. That was the biggest fight of the 2000s. 2010s, and that was the past, man. It's crazy how these things resurface when Manny never failed a drug test, you know. And it's just crazy. These boxing fans are delusional, man. And that's what's toxic in boxing, you know. You can't get people are fans of skin color and race before being fans of the sport, you know. So
right.
That's what sucks, and you got to diminish somebody's legacy just to you can't. People can't going up 8 divisions. That's to them that's impossible. They can't handle the greatness. So they think, oh, he must be on juice. Oh, he must be on gear. So that's that. But with what happened in 2010, from my sources and from what I know and what I've seen, that's what I know in my opinion. But yeah, man, I had to just hop up. This was a spicy live, yo. I was doing stuff. And y'all was chopping it up earlier about Tank Davis too. I wanted to tap in on that, but I was busy. A quick comment on that. If Josh Taylor moves up and relinquishes those belts, Tank is automatically going to be elevated to regular super champ. So that's why Floyd did that. Remember, he's doing that work hard, not smart bullshit.
All right, Gumbo, man. I really appreciate you, Log. I really appreciate you coming in and sharing your opinion.
Yeah. Let me just show y'all. Let me show y'all something real quick.
And we gotta wrap it up though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I know.
Definitely.
We gotta wrap it up. So I gotta get these super chats out the way. But what you trying to show me some pictures?
Yeah. Because
What have you standing with Manny?
No. Yeah. I trained with other pros and amateurs. I'm here in LA.
Right, that's cool. But listen. We gotta wrap it up. So I just wanted you to get your word out. What you had to say.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out Coach Malachi Williams, LDBC killer. We pushing boxing to the forefront, man. Shout out to all the Asian American fighters. Shouting out from the West Coast, man. Shout out Florida. Yo, big love.
All right.
Team Pacquiao. Spence is a great fighter though. And yo.
All right, salute to Gamo, man. Salute to you, fam. Hit the Ali bell for you. We do have a member, a registered member of the LDBC. So I wonder would he like to address these claims? But let me go ahead and give a shout out to my main man Tune for the super chat. That's false, buddy. Max Kellerman and Manny and many people on the inside said it wasn't Floyd's fault. On top of that, Manny was $22 million in debt. So and dropped the lawsuit for a payday. So you sound like a fanboy. Yes, he is. I will say this. Gamo is very, very. You know, he's a huge fan of Manny Pacquiao. You know what I mean? So we know Manny Pacquiao do have their side, and you know, the Wilder, his crew, and Smith, they have their side, and different, you know, fighters. Fury has his team, and that's just how it goes in sport of boxing. You have fans and fanboys alike. It is what it is. Let me get this one more super chat out of the way, then I'm gonna let the panel talk. Pack one of their 20. Shout out to the Y2K. Pack one of their 28-day cutoff on testing. Cherry pick. So Brandon Rios and Chris Algieri aren't even cherry picks, I guess. Make a valid point, Y2K. Anything else you want to say, Bo? I'm gonna let everybody else talk. Chop it up.
Nah, everybody else could go ahead and chop it up.
All right. Shout out to Centos Boxing. What's going on, fam?
What's happening to the panel? What's happening to you, Malachi? And what's up to the chat. I just tapped in, man. I was watching some boxing from over the weekend that I missed out on, and I was, my ears started chirping, man. They were like, I was like, what the? But anyway, as far as this Vada situation with Pacquiao and Spence, I don't think that situation is fully decided yet. As of last week or the week before, there was an article came out, and I think Boxing World News or either Boxing C, one or the other, where they were talking about they had not signed up for VADA yet. Well, Spence, anytime you're a WBC champion, you're going to be part of that program, but I don't think they really start test. They used to say something like that you get tested year round here and there, but I think the main test starts during training camp. And if you're not part of the VADA program, from what I understand, you don't have to sign up or start testing till training camp. Now, Pacquiao is A side, but Pacquiao is going to, if he wants that WBC belt, he's going to have to go through VADA. At least that's what they mandated since 2019.
Right.
VADA and WBC joined forces to make it mandated that any fighter participating for a WBC belt or a WBC champion have to be VADA tested. It was part of the cleanup act for boxing. And a sporting icon was on top of that when he was speaking a few minutes ago. Now, I know we all know Manny is A side, but Manny is not boxing. And Manny cannot be discovered to have failed any drug tests when you're not testing for drug tests. He was forced to be tested against Mayweather because we all know Mayweather wasn't playing that bull crap. All right. Now, he hasn't had, as far as I know, he hasn't had a WBC championship since that time. And I think this is the only time he's fought for a WBC championship possibility. I don't remember a match that he's had where the WBC belt was on the line since he got in the ring with Mayweather. So if you haven't had to be mandated to fight for, fight under certain conditions because you're not fighting for a certain belt, then you're probably not going to have any any kind of test for boxing because the WBC is the only sanctioning body that I'm aware of that forces this on the fighters. The rest of them are volunteer.
Well, Santos, if that's true, don't you think that all of the sanctioning bodies should mandate all of their fighters, whoever the champion is?
I think boxing on every level should require and mandate all Olympic style testing on all fighters because the fighters fight, they die in the ring sometimes, and we want to make sure everyone's on the even playing field. And I think they all from amateurs, Olympics, which is amateurs, as well as professional. You all should be tested. I don't care what the sanctioning body is, but it is what it is.
Hey, can you answer this question right here? Troy got a good question. He said boxing has a mandatory drug test, period. He said he want to ask you what test has he failed or not taken? To put some more clarity on it.
He passed. He passed when he fought Mayweather. He hasn't been under VADA since then. That was the only time that I'm aware of he was under VADA. I never known Manny to have a WBC belt. I could be wrong about that, but I know in the welterweight division and the junior welterweight division, junior middleweight division, he's never fought on the WBC, except for that one time against Mayweather. He's never owned a WBC belt during that time. From welterweight to junior middleweight. Now, those junior middleweight bouts was with De La Hoya and Cotto. Those were catch weights, but they were above the 147 mark, even though he may not have been above the 147 mark himself. But he hasn't fought under the WBC, and it is mandatory under the WBC. I'm reading it on Google right now.
So let me ask you a question. So I'm gonna just get straight to the point. So are you saying that in your opinion, you think because Manny Pacquiao could have possibly, or do you believe Manny Pacquiao has been on PEDs, but because he never had the WBC strap, he was able to use PEDs. I'm not saying this. I'm just asking a question. So you're saying it's a possibility that he could have been using PEDs, and because is that what you're saying?
Let me give a disclaimer real quick first before I answer that. First of all, I've been watching Manny since he first started fighting in the States. I heard about him before he got here, but I started watching when he got to the States. And I've always enjoyed watching Manny Pacquiao to this day, watching him fight. Okay, I'm a Manny Pacquiao fan, but I'm also a truth seeker when it comes to boxing. And Manny Pacquiao hadn't had a knockout. The first knockout he had the most recent knockout he had was against Batiste, which was a WBA belt. Okay, Novada testing. Before that, he hadn't had a knockout since for 9 years. And the last person I recall that he knocked out was Ricky Hatton. And he was much speculated to be doing some things then. And then after that, Ariza gets into trouble. Okay. Now, and Manny always said he didn't like needles and this, that, and the third about his reason for not taking these tests. Vada is if you want the WBC, you're gonna do Vada, my man. I don't care what you got down there, Troy. Now the next thing, when it came down to him fighting other people outside of Mayweather, they didn't force him to test because outside of Mayweather, he is the A side. All right. Now, I can't remember the AB thing, but I think AB there wasn't a WBC belt involved, and with Thurman there wasn't a WBC belt involved.
I think it was WBA. It was WBA. Thurman had the WBA.
Right. Yeah. So these guys were forced to fight him without testing, for the simple fact he was A side. But now you got the WBC involved, and now I will say this: the WBC has been found to be in their rules a lot more than we thought they would here of late when it come down to these belts and all this kind of stuff. Let's see if they'll be in the rules, because it is, Manny, when it comes down to the testing. The testing, I think the training camps are starting, if not this week, next week. But I thought last week they were about 2 weeks out on training camp. So when these training camps start up, if they're not on the clean boxing program, then we are not going to worry about, what I'm saying. That means that the WBC has changed their ruling, because I'm reading it right now. I know what the WBC has stated and implemented, and I have the dates and everything. So he either fights on Nevada or WBC bends the rules for him.
Sporting Icons, let me ask you a question. So, because Troy, I get what you're saying, but I was asking, do you believe, based on what you're saying, and you gave me a whole soliloquy of what the rules are and stuff like that, and I understand that. I really do respect the fact that you said that, but it seems to me, that there's this because opponent, there's this there's a possibility because of this and that Manny more than likely. I mean, you're not saying it, right? But from what you're saying, this is what I'm gathering from what you're saying. You're saying that Manny, in your opinion, you think Manny was on PEDs all this time. Is this what you're saying?
Was that for me?
Yes, it's for you.
Oh, well, I'm saying this. It's mighty peculiar that he when it was brought up that he may be under maybe using PEDs, he hasn't knocked the guy out since then until Batiste. Even though he won a slander lawsuit against Mayweather for $114,000, which is a drop in the bucket for either one of those guys. That still doesn't, in my mind, with common sense, it still doesn't clear him of PED use. Because my thing is, if you are not using any kind of enhancements, what's the problem of testing when you're getting 40, 50, 60, $100 million? You can give me all kind of shots if and check my urine and everything, and check my blood for a few million, and I only got to do that for a short period of time. So I do believe there was something that he didn't want known. And I think if you do abort a test, then you got to have more than a reason that I don't like needles. I don't like needles since a child. But for 40 million, give me a needle.
Okay, all right. Sporting icons. What do you want to interject on that? Because he let
Okay, so Pacquiao, he was a WBA champion for a little while, and while the top 15 for the WBA don't have to enroll, the champion does have to enroll in VADA. But there again, I mean, does that explain 8 weight classes? No, it doesn't. Is it possible he cheated? Yeah, very possible. I mean, one of my very best friends, Mark Clazel, he trained over there in the wild card with Pacquiao for a little while. And I asked him recently, actually, about Pacquiao. And he said that Pacquiao is one of the most consummate professionals that he's ever met. Even like lunch, if they went out for like dinner or things like that, he's always looking at the ingredients. So he's always been very, very careful. And this was several years ago. So he's always been conscious of having the wrong thing in his body.
So my thing is this. So, Lady Shan, you can interject on this, and Sheldon, you can interject on this. All I'm hearing is speculation. There's a possibility, if, maybe, well, it's ironic. This is what I'm hearing. I'm just being honest with you. I'm being as honest as I possibly can. We have no proof that Manny Pacquiao's ever popped dirty for drugs. Now, I get your argument, Santos, if he never enrolled, if he never been tested, I get that. But until we have proof of something, and I'm going to keep the same energy. Until we have proof of something, it's just speculation. Now, is it a possibility? Yeah, it's a possibility that Floyd could have been using drugs. It's a possibility that any fighter could have been using drugs. Wilder or Joshua or whoever, it's a possibility. But until we have tangible proof, until we have tangibles, we have proof that this guy's doing this, it's just speculation. And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but we're allowed to, and keeping the same energy, like we got to keep it across the board. At the end of the day, we suspect Deontay Wilder's lying. We don't know if he is or if he's not, but we suspect it. Nobody can tell us that we shouldn't have those suspicions. I suspect that throughout his career, on and off, Manny Pacquiao has other fighters, but Manny Pacquiao has been on PEDs. I suspect it. Can I prove it? No. So that's all I've ever said.
Right? No. I'm finna piggyback on what you said. We suspect that Wilder is lying. I've said he's lying, but guess what I'm basing it on?
Because he has
Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder said that he has proof. That Tyson Fury cheated him.
Yeah.
Mark Breeden spiked this water. Everything he said he had proof of, I have not seen the proof. And he hasn't presented it. Now I know his supporters, say, yeah, we got the proof, all that stuff there. But I'm saying we have not seen anything tangible. I'm not talking about pictures on YouTube, that someone showed and that can be altered. I'm saying I need proof that Mark Breeden spiked your water. I need proof of the costume, the mask. I need proof of the referee. I need proof that the sport of boxing conspired against you. I need proof that Tyson Fury's skin color was the reason why things didn't go your way or whatever, you lost the fight or whatever it is, all the excuses he made. And I have a list of them. I have them all written down. I got videos of it and stuff like that. I haven't seen anything tangible. You see what I'm saying? Because especially when you say I have proof and I'm going to show it. And I have a video that he said this out of his mouth. So this is what I'm saying, Shan. When you say you got proof of something and you don't show the proof, I'm gonna say, man, when you lied, when you said that you had proof of it, because you didn't show it. You know what I mean? So
okay,
I agree with what you're saying, though. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
but you get what I'm saying, though, sis?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because you can flip that two ways. If you suspect someone of lying, but they don't have the proof to saying otherwise, but you can still have the suspicion that they're lying. Like, it doesn't mean that he's lying just because we suspect that he's lying. But you understand what I'm saying? So I can see it your way, but I can also, if I'm going to keep it the way that I see Manny Pacquiao, I don't know if he's did it, but I suspect he's lying. I don't know I don't believe Wilder has the proof, so it's a suspicion that I don't believe it. I'm not leaving that suspicion. Do you understand? I just suspect he's lying.
Right. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. No, that's fair.
The thing is this. Here's the thing. If you can't prove it, why bring it up? You know what I'm saying? What's happening now with this Pacquiao and Spence fight, to me, sounds like they're trying to build up excuses.
I don't know.
To this point.
I just think if you're,
No, it's
I know
always
what
been
you're
a
saying, but
conversation
if you're
about
shrouded
Pacquiao,
in
man.
something,
It's
go
not.
ahead, Santos. You can reply.
That's always been speculation about Pacquiao. This is not about Earl Spence. This is not about Floyd Mayweather. It's always been speculation. This guy is the only person in the history of boxing to win championships in 8 different divisions. Not championships, world championships in 8 different divisions. Unheard of. 4, 5, yes, 8. Come on now. And then now the thing about it, as he moves up in weight, his knockouts are bigger. He's knocking out bigger guys in bigger fashion in the higher weights. But as soon as the attention is put on him and question about the possibility of PED use, what happens to the knockouts? What happens? His power is still power, but what happens to the knockouts? They disappear. Okay. Now I'm sorry, power stays with guys longer than speed and a lot of other agilities, but your power remains normally if it's true power. Now he has true power, but he doesn't have that extra power of knockout that he had when he was climbing those ranks, and that's the problem I have with Manny. I love Manny Pacquiao. I will pay for his fight and watch his fight every time. I love that guy. And I've never gone against Manny but one time, and that's when he was fighting against Mayweather. But other than that, I always root for him. But my common sense tells me if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And if the man can't knock out lesser opponents after he speculated to be using, something's up. He's knocking out. He's stopping. He stopped. He didn't knock him out, but he stopped a bigger guy in Cotto. He stopped a bigger guy in Oscar De La Hoya.
Those are their catch weights too. Those are their catch weights too.
That's okay. They're bigger guys. Yeah. They're bigger guys. He stops them. He makes mincemeat out of Margarito. Of course, Margarito couldn't cheat anymore himself at that point. These guys are not guys that started in the little flyweights or whatever weight class he started in when he first came into the ranks of boxing, professional levels of boxing. I understand if he has no recordings of failed drug tests from what we know. And I understand that he also hasn't been tested every time. But I also understand that a person can cycle off something out of the system if you know you got to study for a test, is what we call it, that's upcoming. I also know that these guys have these nutritionists and strength and conditioning coaches. That's for a reason. Now, Reza, I know he was doing something with he was getting them some kind of supplements and stuff like that. I know that for a fact because they even videoed that it was either on HBO's 24/7 or All Access. One of the two, it had to be 24/7. But anyway, not long after all these accusations come up, Ariza's no longer in his camp. They had a falling out, and he gets pulled up on some possible charge. I forget how his little case went, exactly what he was accused of. However, yes, the guy said something about he worked with Mayweather. They just bought him over for a psychological, situation against Manny during that time because him and Manny had a falling out. Also, what Sport.com was saying about him being particular about what he eat and things like that, I think Manny's always been that way. But I also think that there's been something that's been either voluntarily taken by Manny or undercoverly given to Manny because Ariza used to want to give him some nutritional drinks and stuff like that. He didn't always want to drink them. It was on video, according to HBO. But I do think that we have to use common sense. He may not have used drugs. We don't have any records of the proof of that he failed at it. But my common sense tells me the knockout should have kept coming. Because
can I say something, Coach?
He didn't
Go
stop.
Go ahead. Y'all top it up.
He didn't stop knocking out the bigger guys. He wasn't even knocking out the guys more in his weight class.
Well, I'm gonna
take a few times off, and then he knock out Matiste. Who was a.
I'm gonna use what you said, Santos. I'm just gonna use what you said. You said if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it must be a duck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if it looks like an excuse and it sounds like an excuse, must be an excuse.
Okay, are we talking about Manny or are we talking about Wilder? Which
We
one are we
talking about
talking
Manny. We talking about Manny.
Okay, now
It
what were you
sounds
saying
like
again?
to me that Spence fans, I'm not saying you, I'm saying Errol Spence fans are already trying to make up an excuse in case he loses.
I
And I
disagree
can
with
see
that
this
because
happening now. I can see that happening now. He lose. Oh yeah, man, he was on the shit. Well, if he
guess what?
was on
The
the
first-
shit, if he
the
was,
first
whose fault is
persons
that?
I heard talking about it, you were one of the first person I heard talking about it on YouTube. I didn't hear
You've
the
never heard me
so-called
say
Spence
Manny
fan.
Pacquiao was on. No.
No,
You
I heard you
never
talking
heard
about
me
the fact
say
they went in.
Manny
No, I heard you
Pacquiao was
talking.
on drugs.
Did
You've
you
never
not
heard me
talk
say that.
about? Did you not talk about a week or two ago that they were not in the Nevada program?
Yeah, I said if they're not in the Nevada
Okay,
program,
then.
I said the
You
same
were-
thing.
like
I
I
said,
said,
wait a minute.
You were
Let me
one of the
finish.
first
Let me
ones I
finish.
heard talking about it.
Let me finish. What I said was, if they're not in the Nevada program, whose fault is that? The same thing I said today, the same thing I say every day. Whose
agree
fault
with
is
that.
that?
I agree with that.
Whose fault is that?
But what-
So if he gets beat, wait a minute. If he gets beat, I don't want to hear well, he was on this, he was on that. You had the opportunity to have VADA testing because you just told me you read the bylaws. To fight for the WBC championship, you must be enrolled in the VADA program. Am I right or wrong?
No, that's correct. That's
Okay,
correct.
so if they both don't get into the VADA testing program, they have this fight, and Spence loses. I don't want to hear shit about no fucking PEDs because you shouldn't have took the fight if you were concerned about that.
I don't think that was everyone's concern about if Spence was making an excuse or not. I think the fact this conversation started about a week or two ago in the boxing app that we share with Lady Shan. And that's when I first heard about it. You guys were talking about them not being signed up. I didn't chime in on it a whole lot then because when I don't know as much as I should know about a subject, I leave it alone until I know better. And then I went over to the boxing scene or the World Boxing News myself and read what was going on. They will not sign up at that time because it wasn't mandated for them to be officially signed up because they hadn't started training camp yet. They had about 2 weeks to go when all that conversations first started on that app. And so I said, I'm not going to say anything about this. I'm going to let this stuff play out because I feel in my heart they're going to both be tested. I don't, and I know Earl Spence did make a phone call, and he stated that they will be tested. Okay, now as far as that, if he don't test, if one don't test, the other don't test. Even playing field. Do what you want to. Drink cocaine if you want to. Kill each other. It doesn't matter to me. It's just that I'm saying, according to the WBC, if they hold true to their bylaws, they will be tested on Nevada. If not, then the WBC has lied once again. It doesn't matter if it's Earl Spence, Adrian Broner, or Thurman or whoever. It's about the fighter in himself is what we're talking about. That's all I'm talking about. I don't care who he faces. I don't think any of these guys face him if they think they could possibly win against, or they just want to get a big payday, one or the other. I like Manny Pacquiao. And I kind of got a little sweet tooth for him to win. I wasn't going to say it publicly until now. So I'm just telling you, I'm cool if the man wins. I have no problem with that because when it comes to the welterweight division, I like Earl and I respect Earl, but Bud is my man. So that's my bias on that. But at the same time, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck and it poops like a duck and it runs behind you like a duck, it's a duck in my book.
And that's fine. I agree with that. And, I know you, we talk offline. I know you personally. But what I'm saying is the same thing I'm telling you is the same thing I told Lady Chan. You got to keep the same energy. You know what I'm saying? You got to. I
just told you about my energy, bro. I'm a secret.
No, listen to what I'm saying.
I'm secretly pulling for Manny.
Let me finish, Santo. What I'm saying is, if you have no proof, don't even bring it up. It's a mute point. Same thing I say with Wilder. If you have no proof that you're willing to show, why even bring it up? It's a mute point.
I respect that.
No, this is my thing. Now this is what I've heard. I even heard this about LeBron James. Not trying to bring another sport into it, but from what I'm hearing, from what I've heard from just other different athletes, they say everybody cheats, even your favorite fighter. And I have no proof of it. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying Manny Pacquiao was dirty or not dirty. I don't know. I don't have any proof of anything. I can speculate or whatever. I've never suspected anything, but I do get the argument though. He moved up 8 weight classes. There's a possibility, dropping hints and innuendos and stuff like that. But there's a possibility that any fighter can cheat. Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, all of them.
Errol Spence. Anthony Joshua.
All of them.
Tyson Fury. Deontay Wilder. You see what I'm saying? There's,
Absolutely.
anybody on that level can do that. So all I'm saying is, go ahead. Sir.
We have to understand this as people. Any high performing athlete has used something, even if it's not on the ban list. It may not be on the ban list, but they have to use something eventually, because after you do it for so long, your body is not going to always keep responding the same way. So they have to, in my opinion, they use some kind of supplements or something. I remember when I was younger, I've been a thin guy all my life, but I used to stay in the gym a lot. And now I have titties in the belly. But anyway, I used to stay in the gym a lot, and I was a high repetition guy when it come down to working out. It was all about the repetitions for me, and I liked to do a lot of them back then. But as time progressed, before I actually turned 30 years old, I felt myself running out of a little go-go juice internally. And I was always bragging about being a natural guy. And so I started seeking to use some things. I refused to use protein. I refused to use any type of steroids. Just wasn't no question. I wasn't going that route. And any kind of supplement that had steroidal, the word steroidal is as part of the ingredients, I wouldn't touch it. And I tried some little energy sparkle, stuff called Spark. I tried that. I didn't like the taste of it, left it alone too. So I've always did it naturally. But the thing is, I could not perform. I tried, and I was able to perform, but not at ease.
So let me ask you a question. You saying all that to say what?
To say your body's going to need something eventually. I agree with you. I think all athletes have tried something to help them. They call them supplements and different things like that, of some type of extra vitamins or something like. No one is competing at high optimum levels at later ages in life, the same as they did when they were in their early 20s and whatever, or teens and early 20s, and not have a little fall off. Your body's gonna have a little fall off. Your metabolism is gonna slow down and things of that nature. You're gonna need some help somewhere. If it's not banned, then you're not charged with I cheated. But if it's banned, then you're gonna be charged with I cheated.
Let me ask a question, Coach. Let me ask a question right quick. Just one question. Could it be that these guys just ain't that good and Manny's better than them?
No, Manny's using something. Like I told you, it's on videotape on HBO with the guy giving him some kind of supplement.
You can't say that.
No, him out.
That is
my original question. So we went all around the world just to get to you saying no, you believe Manny is using something. That's all I was asking. We went to Europe, Japan, China, Africa, all 54 countries, back to America just to get to that point that's why I was asking you the question. So basically the bottom line is, to sum it up, Santos believe that Manny Pacquiao is using PEDs.
Yeah,
that's it.
Not necessarily a ban, but he's using something. No one's going through these levels of fighting and not using something. So what you saw in Floyd Mayweather recently, that's a body not using anything, any kind of ban or not ban. That's a body that's not using any kind of supplements.
So is B-Hop using something? Was B-Hop using something?
Am I using something?
No, I said, was Bernard Hopkins using something?
Bernard always ate well, but I'm sure he used something.
He was older than Manny when he was winning championships. He was 48, 49. So was he using something? According to your logic, was he using something?
It may not have been anything on the ban list, but I'm sure he took some type of supplements. You don't stay that tight in your body that long.
No, Santos. No.
I never drank. I never got high. I never abused myself. But you're gonna use some. If you want to keep your body as tight, if you're in your 40s and you want the body of the 20s, there's no way. You got to have some kind of supplement. You mixing stuff now. You saying supplement? We're not talking about supplements. We're talking about banned substances.
If Bernardo Hopkins could still win championships and late in his 40s and not be on PEDs, then how can Manny still win championships in his late 30s and 40s and be on PEDs? Like that doesn't make sense to me. Like how can you believe?
Both ways.
Wait, hear me out. How can you believe Manny Pacquiao is on PEDs? And I give you that. If you believe that, that's fine. But Bernard Hopkins wasn't on PEDs, and he was beating younger fighters and winning championship belts at an older age. What's the difference?
What I was talking about, Malachi, is a few minutes ago, you said I've always heard that everybody cheats when you use the LeBron example. Okay, and what I was trying to tell you, everybody uses something to stay at a high optimum peak performance. It may not be a banned substance, which makes it legal, but you're using something. You're not just all natural. You're not just waking up out of your bed every day, taking a nice little piss, and then going to the gym and just doing it all like you did when you were 19 to 20 in your 40s or your late 30s. That's all I'm saying. It ain't necessarily got to be a banned substance. Somebody's using something, and that's okay. If they say it's legal, fine. If it's not, if it's illegal, don't use it.
Okay, so basically, all right. So I'm gonna take that and run with it. So is it a possibility that Manny Pacquiao could be using something like supplements, like what you say, not a banned substance? Is that a possibility?
Very possible. I have friends that are Filipinos, and they're out. Well, I'm getting ready to talk to them about some stuff I can use to help me. I put it
right. Because supplements is not. Because I take supplements. Supplements is not illegal PEDs. I take horny goat weed. I take maca. I take creatine. I take protein shakes. I take L-arginine for the blood flow. I take
you cheating, Coach.
I take stuff for my cholesterol. Like
I got a question. I got a question. So what about blood doping? Is that kind of like the same as PEDs if you blood doping?
Explain. I ain't never heard.
Same shit, different animal. Same shit.
So you know what Lance Armstrong he got in trouble for, right? They tested him for years and years, couldn't never even find nothing, right? But
that's a good example,
then the story leaked out that he was blood doping. So I guess what they call it, I'm not sure if they call it EPO or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good example. I remember that.
So Bo, you believe Manny on something too?
No, I didn't say that.
So let me ask you a question. And somebody brought something up in the chat. I think it was Bruce Leroy, the Real McCoy. What about Floyd Mayweather? Floyd, when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he was knocking dudes out. Once he became Money May, he couldn't knock guys out anymore. So if we go by that logic, that means it's a possibility Floyd Mayweather could have been dirty.
No,
he could have been using it.
Floyd was naturally bigger.
But Floyd was knocking
guys back then.
Floyd was knocking guys out at a lower weight too. Like as he moved up, his knockouts his punching power wasn't really there.
Right.
Okay.
And he had a lot of hand troubles too. But
why can't it be the same for Manny?
What Manny increased as he got heavier. He didn't decrease. And Floyd was totally the opposite. And Floyd was more traditional fighters that we know of over the history of boxing. Mm-hmm. Manny is the only one that had a different situation that increased in knockouts.
I beg to differ because he was knocking them dudes out at lightweight, junior lightweight.
Like I said, his knockouts
he was knocking all them dudes out. As he came up, he was knocking them dudes out.
Knockouts increased, and
when he got to 47, they decreased. So I'm using your point. When he got to 47, they decreased. How many knockouts he got at 47?
He had more spectacular knockouts as he got into 47 versus before he fought Mayweather.
Who did he knock out? He knocked out Ricky Hatton, and he stopped Oscar De La Hoya.
Well,
who else did he knock out?
Stops and knockouts is what I'm talking about. He
so you saying TKOs?
Let me tell you something. Even without the TKOs, he beat those. Those were worse than the knockouts. He beat those guys. Who else was the same after they fought Manny?
True.
The same.
True.
Okay.
Well,
now after the Mayweather fight, no one was having no situations like that with Manny. No one was getting beat down as bad. No one was getting knocked out as easy.
I say again, could it be that Manny was just better than those dudes? Could it be that?
He's definitely an elite fighter, man. We know that.
Okay, so I'm just saying, maybe he was just better than the dudes he beat their ass.
Let me tell you something. What I'm trying to tell you, he hadn't been caught. But just like Malachi said, he used certain things to make him do better. and feel better?
Yeah, I've been using it for years, like creatine. I've been using it for years. I take CoQ10. And anybody want to get good cholesterol? Take CoQ10, CoQ10. That's really good for your LDL. You have your LDL and you have ACL cholesterol. The ACL is the good cholesterol. You want to have that at 100 or lower, and it's the bad cholesterol. You want to have that 100 or lower, and I could be saying it wrong. And the LDL cholesterol is your good cholesterol. You want to have that at a 40 or higher. So I take supplements. I don't take PEDs, but I take supplements. But I've been taking it for years though.
What I'm saying, because it helps you on a day-to-day basis at the point you are in your life right now.
Right.
Okay. Now, you probably don't have titties either. I got titties. I used to have a chest, but I have titties now. Because I don't do it in this. I don't have the goal I used to have. A lot of this stuff starts in our mental, but you got to have something for your physical as you get older.
So you have gyno. You have gyno. They call that gyno, and that's what it's called, gyno. Male boobs.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is, it ain't necessarily got to be something illegal. You're not just naturally waking up out of bed, just increasing your knockout power, man. But his knockout power increased, then it fell off.
All right, so you made your point, Santos. So Santos believes Manny Pacquiao's on PEDs. I'm not saying that. I don't have any proof of it. I don't know anything.
I'm not saying it's necessarily PEDs. I'm saying to use something. That's what I'm saying.
But they all use something. So what's the point?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, if you look at it like I look at some bodybuilders, right? I guess some people, they got these channels talk about natty and who's not, and they make it seem like if you just take supplements in general, then you just taking something. So I don't know.
All I'm saying is this here: Manny Pacquiao is not. Let's say Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao is fixing the fight, right? If Manny is not enrolled, if he's not doing VADA testing, Errol Spence is not doing VADA testing, right? As of right now, both of these guys are on an equal playing field.
Correct.
Errol Spence can just as much has an opportunity to take some PEDs before he fights Manny Pacquiao. He has the same opportunity as Manny Pacquiao if that's the case. Now, I'm not saying neither one of them are taking PEDs. I've heard rumors about Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao. I've heard rumors about several fighters, but I don't have the proof of it. I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm very ignorant as it relates to that. You see what I'm saying? So I don't really talk much about it because that's not my field of expertise. I'm very ignorant on it. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is I agree with what Shelton's saying at the end of the day. When these two guys fight each other, if Manny Pacquiao, I think he's 43 years old, he's 4 years younger than me. If Manny Pacquiao wins and Errol Spence is not enrolled in VADA and Manny Pacquiao's not enrolled in VADA, the narrative is going to be, oh man, see this proof Manny Pacquiao, well, if he wins, I'm going to tell you right now, the narrative is going to be, this is proof that Manny Pacquiao was on some kind of PEDs. He didn't take any drug testing, but they're not going to mention that Errol Spence was not taking drug testing as well. So this is, I'm assuming this is what Shelton is alluding to, because that's
that's
more than
exactly
likely
what I'm saying, Coach. I'm not alluding to anything. That's exactly what I'm saying. If Manny and Spence fight and neither one of them are enrolled in the VADA testing program, do not come to me talking about, well, Manny didn't know. Because Spence had the choice to do the same thing. He didn't. If he had a problem with Manny taking PEDs and Manny decided he didn't want to get enrolled in the VADA testing, then don't take the fight.
Right. Period. He can easily say, you know what?
If you take the fight and you get beat, that's on you.
Right. I totally agree with that. What do you think about that on Sporting Icons?
Well, firstly, unless Pacquiao knocks him out, he ain't going to get the points win anyway. They're hell bent on making Errol Spence the pay-per-view star. So no matter how that fight goes, Spencer's going to get the win. It's the first one. Second of all, when it comes to Pacquiao taking PEDs, I haven't heard anybody mention the fact that USADA walked into a hotel room and found Floyd Mayweather laying there with tubes hanging out of his body. So what was he doing with those tubes? They reported it, and nothing was done about it.
Wow, I didn't know that. When was that?
No. That was he got an IV. I guess it was right before the Manny Pacquiao fight. So this is the thing. I like both fighters, man, but I can't stand both of their fan bases because they both accuse each other of everything. So the Floyd fans accuse Manny Pacquiao of being on steroids, and the Manny Pacquiao fans accuse Floyd Mayweather of taking an illegal IV. But none of those things are actually true. He took an IV, which was proven not to be illegal in any way.
So what does the IV do then?
The IV, because he was like dehydrated, so they gave him the IV.
It was out the way in.
Yeah, it was nothing illegal about it. He just took an IV. But the thing is that both Floyd and Pacquiao fans accuse each other of, of everything pretty much. I mean, I guess this is like the biggest, the fans is the biggest rivalry between each other until this whole Deontay Wilder thing just surfaced.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible that, although do you guys have in America the therapeutic use exemptions? Do your athletes have that?
Yes. If you report like you got high blood pressure or something like that, they let you use the high blood pressure medication, stuff like that. Or if you're taking testosterone replacement therapy because you're older, you want to keep your shit up, and you report that, then they allow that.
Okay, because you remember that interview, or maybe you don't. Shannon Briggs did an interview. I think it was on, was it the Boxing Voice or something? I don't watch these guys. But he did some kind of interview, and he said, your boy is one of the dirtiest guys around. As in, he was talking about Wilder, because Wilder is always in and out of hospital having surgery. And, of course, he repairs very, very quickly, which is nothing wrong with that if you're given, like, steroids or anything like that. So is it possible that Wilder has been using PEDs but having therapeutic use exemptions?
Yeah, but you have to prove why you're on the therapeutic.
Yeah, but a doctor will sign anything, though. You know what a doctor's like.
Yeah, unless you're buying off the doctor, but it's giving them the benefit of the doubt. Like Luis Ortiz popped 30 because he didn't declare that he was on blood pressure tablets. But I mean, they did.
But if Luis Ortiz had put that on the form, we wouldn't have heard nothing about it.
Because it's declared. So like you can't help if you've got high blood pressure, so you do need to take those tablets, but you do need to declare it. Once it's declared, it doesn't pop. It will come up in the top screen, but you're not flagged as it being dirty because you've declared it.
So if it's declared, then we won't hear anything about it, will we?
No, we won't hear anything. We won't hear anything about it. No.
Well, the thing is, the Luis Ortiz and Wilder, the first time they were supposed to fight, the fight was delayed and postponed, and well, actually, it was over with before it started because it was discovered that Luis Ortiz was, he had high blood pressure. It wasn't disclosed, so that fight was over. But when Wilder and his team understood that he did have a high blood pressure issue, that's why they went ahead and made the fight later. Him and Ortiz. Now, Wilder himself, he's very subject to the flu and colds and stuff like that. I can relate to that because I used to get sinus every year. Matter of fact, I'm fighting a little cold now. So some people, men, women, whatever, sometimes you're subject to stuff like that. And that's mostly, he's either been in the hospital for either a flu or surgery on his hand. And I think the most recent was something to do with his bicep or something like that. I don't think he's been in the hospital for getting injected with, different things or anything like that. And usually he's in the hospital after his big fights, not before. So I think that I don't.
No. Well, the last time he was hospitalized before his big fight with Fury, the second fight. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's after the fight. It was his bicep, I think. Then
he was hospitalized before the fight with the.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Well, they kept that quiet because of the big fight. They didn't want to.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, we don't always know every time he's hospitalized or
Yeah, when you're sick, you're sick. Period. I mean, if it's legitimate, but we just got to start keeping things in content of boxing. Not pull. Don't look at it. This is my favorite guy, or that's my favorite guy. Look at it what it's supposed to be for boxing. I agree with Sheldon. If they both agree not to take voluntary testing, then it's an even playing field. So it don't matter. Just like we don't hear much about you hear, but you don't hear much about him in the Pacquiao in the Thurman fight. They both agree. So my thing is, it doesn't matter if you're on an even playing field. Or you have the opportunity to be on an even playing field. But if you're not on an even playing field, then there's a problem. Now, I don't care who wins that fight, honestly. I like both guys. But for the sake of Terrence Crawford, I'm kind of leaning toward Manny Pacquiao.
You know, guys, I always hear these situations where people talk about PEDs and the respect for the sport, and fighters shouldn't take PEDs because too many people have died in the ring and all that kind of stuff. I'm just curious, has anybody who's died, has the opponent ever tested positive for PEDs?
I never heard.
Not that I can recall.
I can recall.
What about the person?
Well, I think the PED use, them being against PEDs is to prevent killings, not person dying, but to prevent the killing.
He's saying that the opponent that's died, the opponent he faced, was he tested for PEDs, because then he could.
I didn't hear that. I thought he said the guy that died. But from what I understand, most of the times these days they're testing these guys. They're testing the urine after fights anyway, aren't they?
Right.
This is what I don't know. I would hope so. Like I said, USADA is a different one from VADA, so I'm not sure what the extent.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. That's what Sport Icons was saying. Santos, has anybody who has killed a man in the ring, like the guy Subriel Matias, he killed that guy, right?
Yeah.
He tested negative after the fight. So boxing is an inherently dangerous sport. Inherently dangerous. That's what you sign up for.
Hey, that was a damn good question, Sporting Icons. I didn't even, I'm mad I didn't think of that. That's a damn good question.
Yeah.
You know, if a fighter dies in the ring.
Yeah, the last guy I can remember was Subriel Matias at 140. He killed that Russian guy. Too many blows to the head. The guy died. And he tested negative. So boxing, like I said, boxing is an inherently dangerous sport. That's what these guys sign up for. Like I said in the beginning of this conversation, if Errol Spence is suspecting Manny Pacquiao of using PEDs, then he should demand VADA testing or not take the fight. Those are his only two options.
Has Errol Spence stated that he suspects Manny?
No, he hasn't said anything about it. He hasn't said anything about Manny using. Using or not. He hasn't. But see, the only thing Errol Spence is saying that they both will be under VADA test because the WBC sanctioned body. That's it.
But they haven't.
He hasn't complained one bit. It's not. A lot of times I find out it's not the fighters always that's putting all this stuff in the airways. It's us.
No, but they haven't entered. That's a fact. And even if you said they're supposed to enter at the time of training, well, Manny Pacquiao's already in training, and I would assume Spence is in training camp as well. And if he's not, he better get his ass in there.
Hey, this Fight Fan 30 has a good question. He said, Coach, ask this guy how Wilder put on 23 pounds of muscle in 3 months without drug use. Now, that's I'll tell you. I work out a lot. Now, this would be more my field of expertise because I've been I boxed 5 years, but I've been lifting weights since I'm 47, 34 years. And I can tell you that I'm gonna give you the good answer. I'm not gonna say, because you're black, we got genes, we from Africa, no, all this bullshit. You're gonna be taking something. You're gonna have to eat a lot. You're gonna have to get on some kind of different kind of 23 pounds of muscle in 3 months. I'm not gonna lie, bro. That's hard. I've been lifting weights a long time, and I'm gonna tell you something, bro. I've been around some guys. I know a lot of guys who use a lot of different things, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. It's hard to put on 23 pounds of muscle naturally. I can tell you that. I'm not accusing Wilder of anything. I'm saying that. I've been around black guys, and I know we're supposed to have genetics from Africa because we're black. I get all of that BS.
Malachi, we do. It's a scientific fact that we I'm not saying in the Wilder situation, but it's been scientifically proven that white people cut up, takes longer to cut up than a black person.
Listen, I'm not talking about cutting up.
Yeah, I'm not
talking about cutting up, Shan.
I'm not talking about specifically to Wilder putting about that amount, but I'm just saying, yeah, we do have a genetic predisposition that we do cut up quicker.
Shan, I know some black dudes who can't build muscle to save their life. Just because you're black.
To the rule, but
yeah, just because you're black. Yeah. I'm just saying, just because you're black, it doesn't. Well, all I'm saying is this here: to put on 23 pounds of muscle, fight fan 30 in a 3-month span, you have to be using something.
Yeah,
you have to be using something.
What I'm saying is, hang on. What I'm saying is, yeah, I'm not saying with Wilder that's easily achieved. What I'm saying is, in general, we do cut quicker than our white counterparts and other races counterparts. It's a scientific proof. Fact.
Yeah, that's true. But there's also facts that there's some people who can't build a muscle to save their life that are black. Yeah, and I know that from experience, not from a book, not from no test, from what I see. Motherfucker work out 20 times a day and they still fat and sloppy as hell.
That's because they're not working out the correct way.
Like you say, Shelton, there's always exceptions to the rules, whether good or bad. Like you said, Manny Pacquiao doesn't have to be juicing to be an 8-weight world champ. That he could be an exception to the rule where he's actually did that drug-free. There's always an exception to the rule. But in general, scientifically, we do cut up quicker than other races.
Bruce Leroy, I'm finna tell you right now, when you are a taller person, it's harder to build muscle. Especially, Wilder still have skinny legs. So if he put on 23 pounds of muscle in the upper body, listen, I do deadlifts. In order to listen, when you're working out, lifting weights, I've been doing this for 34 years. I'm telling you what I know. I was trained by the best. You got, when you want to build muscle overall, your best friend is you want to do deadlifts in order to get stronger and build your upper body. Because it's going to build your lower body as well as your upper body. And you want to do squats. You're going to have to do heavy weight lifting. Heavy weights is what put muscle on you. You're also going to have to eat like maybe 5,000
calories.
Yeah. So many, 6-7 meals a day, whatever the case may be. And I'm telling you, if you are a taller person, it's harder to build that muscle like that. Now, a shorter person who's more compact, it's easier to build muscle. It's a lot easier to build muscle because you have shorter limbs. You see what I'm saying? But for someone to be 6'7" tall, to put on 23 pounds of muscle in a 3-month span, and his legs is still skinny. That means he wasn't doing leg day, right?
That's not true, Malachi. That's not true.
No, hear me out.
I'm tall with thin legs. It's not true.
I understand that, but you probably don't do legs.
Yes. I'm trying to tell you, bro.
All right, so
let me tell you, my legs will get a lot stronger any day. You have no problem gaining strength.
Bro, listen.
Tall, long,
let me ask you a question. How long have you been lifting weights?
Man, I did 5 years federal time, bro. And
okay,
and then I've worked out another 8 years after that straight.
Okay, that's fine.
I know about it.
That's fine, and I know about it as well. You did fair time,
but you're a shorter guy. I'm a tall, long guy. The legs may not necessarily go, but they do get stronger. I got trophies for squatting.
Right, I'm not saying they don't get stronger. The question was, a taller person, is it possible? Okay, let me ask you this question. I ain't gonna ask you the question. I'm telling you from experience what I know. For a person to put on, okay, that's fine. That's subjective to you, and I'm just telling you what's subjective to me. To put on 23 pounds of muscle for a person that's 6'7" without using anything. I ain't talking about no damn creatine. Creatine ain't gonna put on no 23 pounds of muscle. Creatine gives you water weight. That's what creatine does. It gives you water weight. To put on 23 pounds of muscle in a 90-day span, that's very, 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 very damn near impossible to do unless you're using something illegal.
Can I cut in on this one?
Go ahead.
Okay, so with Wilder, I mean, to be fair to Wilder, when he fought, because I think he's talking about between when he fought Ortiz and then Fury, he was apparently ill for the Ortiz one, where he was always on the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
So to be fair to Wilder, he was probably underweight when he fought Ortiz.
Okay,
that's what I was about to comment about. Good sporting icon, because I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, but I'm not saying no. The guy asked a question again. I'm gonna repeat it. I'm not saying Wilder used anything. I'm not saying Manny Pacquiao used anything. I'm not saying I'm suspecting anybody of using anything. The question was, a person that's 6'7", he wanted to know Wilder is tall. Is it easier for a super tall for tall people? Now, if you're tall, especially if you're in the bodybuilding, if you're in the bodybuilding, been in the bodybuilding industry, business and stuff like that, any bodybuilder will tell you it's harder for a taller person to build muscle. It'll be a lot easier for a shorter person.
It's hard. It's hard. Let me tell you from a tall person's standpoint, it is harder to get that growth and body mass because our limbs are longer. But my upper body is so much bigger than my lower body, and even when I'm in shape, and it doesn't surprise me. See, if you use them, like they got that boost and all that stuff nowadays, they can drink, and it's like a protein drink or something, I guess. I never use it, but I know you could use that kind of stuff. But my thing is, what Sporting Icon was saying is what I want to bring up. He may have been, he's been keeping his weight down because they have to force him to eat. They talk about that all the time leading up to this fight. They have to force him to eat more. He don't like to eat a lot. And then a tall guy like him at his age, I'm sure his metabolism is really fast because mine used to be very fast and high, and I used to be able to eat whatever I want and not gain a pound. I could take 2 months off out of the gym and try to eat and try to get a little bulk, and then go in there and cut it up in 60 days.
Well, I'm not talking about cutting. Cutting is when you're losing weight and you're ripping the muscle. We're talking about bulking up. Listen, what Shan said, cut. That's what Shan said. She's right about that. I'm talking about bulking. When we're talking about bulking, when you want to bulk up your muscle in a 90-day span. Again, I'm not saying Wilder, Pacquiao. I'm not saying anybody. I'm saying I've worked out with wrestlers, British Bulldogs. I've worked out with professional bodybuilders. I worked out with professional power lifters. I've been lifting weights for 34 years consecutively. And I'm telling you that for someone to to bulk up 23 pounds of muscle, I don't give a damn if you're black, you're from the deepest parts of Africa on the planet. Unless you're just naturally built, unless you're just a naturally big guy. If you're not a naturally big guy, meaning like you, what's the brother name? What's the brother name in LA? Oh, Shelton fell off. Cause I know some dudes who are just naturally big that don't lift anything. I do know that. But
it
they
might be calisthenics.
But they are exception to the rules. I'm saying just naturally. I don't care where you're from. You said to bulk up the 23 pounds of muscle in a 90-day span. That sounds like a cycle process to me. That sounds like you're a man.
We don't know if it was exactly 90 days. That's just what this guy said.
Yeah. That's what he's saying.
All your experience of working out, you know that if you could take off from the gym and do some massive eating over a period of time, and you blow a little bit, then you go in the gym and you cut that, and you have more body mass. I mean more muscle mass. You know, but you
have to shred.
You can do it with strength. I've done it before, bro.
Yeah, well, I'm saying when you're cutting cutting down. Yeah, you're getting rid of the body fat. You're getting rid of the water weight.
You got to do your strength exercise to get your strength. Right. But you can go in there and blow those repetitions out, man. The quickest growth I've ever seen for me is repetitions. That's why I stuck to it. You don't have to lift. You don't have to power lift. You just need to do enough, and you just do a bunch of repetitions. You'll see muscle growth. I promise. That's what you say. That's cool. That's fine. I'm just telling you, my 34 years of experience, guys. I've never seen anybody, black man, white man, Shaka Zulu, whoever. Yeah, Bill, right. 23, bulk up, not cut. Yeah. Cutting and bulking is two different things. Understand that. Bulk up meaning you're gaining muscle. You're not gaining any fat. You're not gaining any water weight. You're building pure muscle. In order to build pure muscle in 23 in a 3-month span, I don't care who it is. Yeah. And to build 23 pounds of pure muscle in a 3-month span, your ass using some kind of steroids. Shout out to Gary Garner, master's degree in sports and science and sports and exercise. It's not physically, what you say? Physically, I guess you're trying to say physically possible to gain 24 pounds of pure muscle when you are already near your peak without steroids. Physiologically,
yeah. You know what I mean? So again, I'm not saying anybody's doing anything. All I'm saying is from my experience, because this is my field of expertise. I do this I mean, I've been working out for 34 years, consecutively lifting weights. Deadlifts, squats is my favorite exercise. Leg lunges with the barbell with 160 pounds, leg lunges, calf raises, duck walks, wind sprints when it comes to doing my cardio, bench press, back arms. I superset everything. Yeah. I superset.
There you go, bro.
I superset everything. Meaning, when I finish doing squats, I'll go right into the leg lunges. When I finish doing leg lunges, I'll go right into the duck walks. When I finish doing the duck walks, I do knee-high leg lifts, and that's just one set.
And that's one set. Trained as well, other people. So
you can go on my. I'm telling you. You know what I mean? I'm telling you. Now I use. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not putting on 23 pounds of muscle. 3 months span. But I'm telling you from what I experienced. Maybe it's possible. You could put on 23 pounds of muscle and in a 3 month span. Maybe it's possible. I don't know. I've never seen it.
Well, some of these guys, if you're catching the wave at the right time, your body's naturally growing, and you catch it at the right time, you can get a little extra growth in a shorter period of time than some other people. But it's not gonna be anything too overly major though.
No.
It's possible. It's possible. You take a young man in high school playing football and he's working out, his body's growing, he's going to get a quicker growth spurt than a guy in his 20s.
Growth spurt age between 18 and 21.
Yeah. But we're talking about a guy in his 30s.
Some guys' bodies mature slow. My body matures slow. I'm just not getting. I'll be 53. 54 in August. My body just started getting a considerable amount of hair on the face after a period of time, just in the last maybe 8 years. And I know guys that was getting hair on their face in high school. So some bodies mature a little bit quicker than others, and they grow at a different pace than others. Yeah. So it just depends. Now, I'm not saying that the 23 pounds of muscle actually happened in 90 days. We don't know if it was 90 days or if it was more than 90 days or what it was. But what I am saying, if this guy is normally used to keeping his weight below what he normally keeps it where it should be at, then your body can get back up to that weight level quickly, and you can cut that fat, you can cut it, and it'll look like muscle.
There's different body types, and body type that I feel that Wilder comes under is ectomorph, which is it takes a lot longer for him to be able to build muscle, whether black, white, whatever. If he's an ectomorph, that is meaning he has very lean and very gangly. So for him to really put on that amount of muscle is a bit in that time period is a bit iffy.
I'm not. Hey Shane, this is another thing too. Again, I don't know. And this is what we got to look at too. What's your body fat percentage?
Yeah.
When you listen, this is another thing. Now I'm not saying Wilder. I don't know. The guy just asked the question, so he just asked the general question, and I'm giving a general answer. Just in time, you're right. I don't know if it was almost. I don't know. I really don't. That's the first time I ever got posed that question.
Index,
I'm speaking from like me. I have 12.8% body fat. I have double digits, which is pretty good. You see what I'm saying? I would like Wilder looks like his BMI. He's in single digits.
Yeah, 7.
Wilder look like he has about 8, maybe
maybe 9,
8, maybe 9, maybe somewhere between 7 and 9. You know what I mean? 7 and 9. So he has good genes. Wilder has good genes. You know what I mean? So, your body fat, your body fat as well, right? So Wilder doesn't like to do a lot of cardio. From what we're saying, like he don't do the typical running, jogging. A lot of the old school fighters do. Yeah. So where did he get his cardio from? I have no idea. Again, I'm not saying anything. But for anybody to put on 20,
he did a lot of sprints. He didn't do a lot of jogging, but he did a lot of sprints and stuff like that, short sprints.
Right, but if you I'm just telling you guys, you put on 23 pounds a month. No, forget Wilder. Anybody, it could be me. No, I'm gonna use me as an example. If you see me put on 23,
that was all 23 pounds of muscle, brother. I mean, this is speculation from a fan as well. We don't have any.
No, hear me out. We don't disregard all of that. We don't disregard it all. I'm not talking about Wilder anymore. I'm just saying Wilder probably has about 7 to 8% body fat. Right. So I'm not talking about Wilder. I'm saying anybody from my experience, for you to put on anybody, forget Wilder. If Santos so let me ask you a question, because you have gyno, right? You say you have gyno. what you call male titties, male boobs. That's what gyno is, right? So,
they used to be a chest, but now they breast.
That's the side that that's the side effects from steroids. This is what happened when you use steroids. I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you. Hear me out. But if you study steroids, that's the side effect of steroids, right? Because it gives you extra estrogen. When you have gyno, that means you have a lot of estrogen in your body. That's what that means.
Shrinks your penis as well.
Right. So you go ahead.
No, I'm not saying you're
right. Yeah, I'm not getting into all of that. All I'm saying is that means you have a lot of estrogen in your body, right? I'm the guy. I go to the doctor twice a year. I get my blood work done. I know everything that's going on with my body. You see what I'm saying? So this is how I know. This is what I know. I do this twice a year. Most people don't even go to the body and get their blood work done and test to say, let me see what my cholesterol like. What my testosterone levels are. You know what I mean? None of that. So this is what I do.
My third year. This year be just my third year doing it consistently. So you're right.
And I train people. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is for anybody to put on 23 pounds of muscle,
you need help.
In 90 days. Again, I am not talking about Deontay Wilder. I'm gonna say it again. Yeah. I am not talking about Deontay Wilder. I'm saying anybody. For you to put on 23 pounds of muscle, bulk up, meaning bulk up of muscle, no body fat, none of that. For you to put on 23 pounds of muscle in 90 days, as using steroids.
You're using something, definitely.
I don't care what it is. You're using some form of steroids. Period. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I've worked out with a lot of guys who do it. So I'm telling you what I physically seen. You know what I mean? I worked out with a lot of guys who do it. Like, hey man, listen, man. Well, who done it in the past? They're not. A lot of them ain't doing it anymore because they're older than me. But I'm just saying, I'm worked out with guys who've done it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I studied sports science at college as well. So yeah, you're right. You're right, man.
Right. It's just, I'm just saying, Shane, now you can bulk up to 23 pounds, Shane, but I'm saying in 90 days of muscle. 90 days?
No, you'd have fluid retention, you'd have water retention. That would be that type of muscle. It wouldn't be solid muscle in 90 days for that amount. Yeah, you're right.
Right, you know what I mean? So, hey, but listen, guys. Hey, listen, shout out to Sport Icon Shan, man. He dropped by and rocked with us. And Lady Shan took her time out. My sis she took a long needed rest. She needed it. the hardest working woman in the sport of boxing is the content creating on YouTube.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you,
Malachi. I'm gonna go ahead and jump off, my brother, and I appreciate everyone. And it's a good show, man.
All right, yes, sir. Shout out to Santos Boxing, man.
Appreciate
Shout out to Santos Boxing. Hey, Bo, anything you want to say, brother, before we wrap the show up?
Nah, just another interesting topic. Great topics we touched on today, and looking forward to the next show.
Oh man, salute to my brother Bo. Let's hit the Ali Bell for Bo. You know what I mean? Salute to you, fam. Salute to you, fam. Shout out to my brother, Lady Shan. Is there anything? Hey, listen, man. Hey, listen. Is there anything my sister want to say to wrap the show up before we log on?
I just want to say, as usual, great live. I also learn things each and every time, and I appreciate being asked to be on all day, every damn day. Wilder's still a liar, though. And that's it.
To this day.
Yeah.
Hey,
we'll carry on debunking all of the rubbish, and I appreciate your contribution in the sport of boxing and as a YouTube content creator.
Man, listen, man, guys, please subscribe to Lady Shan's channel. She has a very, very good show, a lot of energy. I look at her as the female version of me because she is fiery. She's probably more fiery than me, but she's fiery. She don't take no mess. She's ready. She's ready for. She's very civilized, but if you take her there, she's gonna. Hey, look, she's ready for the debate. You know what I mean? And I love that.
And we speak Spanish. Hablamos español, sí.
Sí, claro que sí, mi amor. Claro que sí. You know what I mean? So,
gracias.
Listen,
buenas noches.
All right, yeah, buenas noches. Buenas noches, mi amor. All right, let's hit the Ali Bell for my sister, Lady Shan. Please go to her channel and subscribe. And let me go ahead and Ronald Finkley. Shout out to my brother Ronald Finkley, man. Let's hit the Ali Bell for my brother for the super chat. You know what I mean? So you know how we do it, guys? Let me go ahead and give everybody a shout out. First of all, I want to say shout out to my brother from the UK, Sporting Icons. He took the time out of his busy day. He's doing legendary stuff over there as well. He took the time out of his busy day to rock with us. I really, really appreciate it. This is a long live. I try to keep it at 2 hours, but man, it just got interesting. So, you know, sometimes you plan on going 2 hours and then Sporting Icons came on and just took it to another level. And that's just what happens when you have great people in this boxing content creation YouTube sphere. When they come on, you know what I mean? It is what it is. So got a lot of love for Sporting Icons. I watch his channel every day, like literally every day. When I wake up in the morning, bam, let me see what Sporting Icons doing. Bam, let me see what Showbiz the Adult doing. Bam, let me see what Counterpunch Boxing doing. Bam, let me see what Lady Sham put out there. Bam, let me see what Major Key Boxing. Major Key Boxing, please tune in tonight at 9:30. Butter McGirt will be interviewed there with my brother, Major Key Boxing and Sporting Icons. Let's see who else I talk about. Bam, shout out to Blood Boxing. I go to his channel as well. My brother right here in the state of Florida with me, and I check out Punch Drunk Boxing. I check out a couple other channels as well. You know, so please subscribe to those channels. If you like them, cool. Subscribe to them. If you don't like them, you don't have to subscribe. But these are the channels that I look at, I listen to. Shout out to Rapstar out there in the UK. Some people say Rapstar kind of crazy. I am one of them. Rapstar, you are kind of crazy, brother. But shout out to him. Shout out to Coach Asgi. Shout out to Halim. Hit the Ali bell for Coach Asgi and Halim. And let's go ahead and wrap this up. So shout out to Justin Time. Shout out to Bacon and Eggs. Shout out to Paul CX. Shout out to Adrian. Shout out to my brother Ronald Finkley. Shout out to Bruce Leroy, the real McCoy. Shout out to Mr. G. Shout out to Stevens Tar. Shout out to Kathy W. Shout out to Jeff Lucietta. Shout out to brother Halim. Shout out to Reptile Lifestyle. Sorry about that. Talking too damn fast. Shout out to the Terry. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. Shout out to Bon Scott. Shout out to HLD. Shout out to Fire Rises. Shout out to Bruce Leroy, the real McCoy, said that. Shout out to my brother Bo. I'm gonna say my brother Shelton Moore. Shout out to my brother Shelton Moore, the co-host of this show. Shout out to my brother. I stayed on the live too long, and my brother had to go. So shout out to my brother Shelton Moore, man. Much love to my brother from Compton, California. You know, and shout out to everybody in Compton, man. Them brothers are some. Woo, Compton ain't nothing to play with. Anyways, shout out to Bob Zulang. Shout out to Boxing GH. Oh, shout out to Boxing. I guess that. Oh yeah, P for P, pound for pound Jack. Shout out to who else we have? Shout out to Gary Garner. Shout out to Mad Chad Boxing and Sports. Salute to you, fam. Shout out to Lito. Shout out to Reptile Lifestyle. Shout out to Paul CX. Shout out to Gary Garner. Shout out to my brother. Shelton Moore once again. Shout out to Stephen Tar. Shout out to HLD. Shout out to Mando Solo, either or. Shout out to, let's see who else we have. Shout out to Matt Cedillo. Shout out to you, fam. Once again, salute the Sporting Icons, man. Much love to that brother, man. He's doing legendary stuff. You know what I mean? Let's see. Shout out to 007. Shout out to who else we have? Shout out to Dr. Mofongo. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to Mike Brown. Shout out to Jabril Bay. Oh, shout out to Ziggy, who came in earlier. Shout out to Lisa Bales, who came in earlier. Shout out to Carmen Serene, who came in earlier. Shout out to Kathy W. Kathy, what's going on, sis? What's going on, Kathy? From the UK. Shout out to Fire Rises. Shout out to Johnny Blaze. Shout out to, let's see who else we have. Shout out to G. Oh, yeah, OG was in the building too. OG, triple OG, double OG. What's going on, fam? Shout out to, let's see what else we got. Who else we got? Hold on, guys. I don't want to say the same name. Shout out to Mr. G. Shout out to Garmo from LA. He was on here as well. Who else we have? Shout out to Alchemist 73. Shout out to Mike Brown. Who else we have? Shout out to Fight Fan 30. You asked some damn good questions, fam. Fight Fan 30 asked some damn good questions. Shout out to Charlo, my brother Charlo. Shout out to Bruce Dog. Bruce Dog in the building. Shout out to Bruce Goals. Shout out to Peter Barnard, my brother. Shout out to Adrian. Paul CX, salute fam. I know I'm yelling, guys, but you know how hype I get. Shout out to Bold and Understanding. Shout out to Bon Scott. Let's see. Shout out to Collins Ero. Alchemist 73. Shout out to my brother Alan Skill. Who else we have? It's another brother who came on, man. Who know me from my city. Shout out to Jez Edwards. Shout out to Nathan Matthew. Shout out to CJ. CJ from Asia. What's going on, fam? Other than that, guys, there's another person I'm missing, but I forgot his name. I forgot it. Shout out to the brother who came in from 813 area code 813. Shout out to you, fam. Shout out to Bernardi. Shout out to Smix, S-Mix 85. And other than that, guys, it's our boy Coach Malachi Williams, represent for New Media Today USA Boxing. Signing out once again. We will be on again tomorrow live at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Please check out Major Key Boxing tonight at 9:30. If you're in the UK, that's going to be 2:30 your time. Yeah, 2:30 your time. 9:30 tonight, Major Key Boxing with Major Key and Troy Graham. They will have Buddy McGirt, the legendary boxer, Hall of Famer. Buddy McGirt will be in the building, and I'm going to be over there, guys, with some legends. So once again, it's our boy Coach Malachi Williams, represent for New Media Today USA Boxing, signing out once again. Peace. Peace, guys.
Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go.